Hello everyone, we'll start the session in few minutes. Rajendra sir will start in few minutes.
Thank you, Sashi. Sure, I will wait. Sashi, you are in mute actually. You are in mute.
Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to Data Analytic Group presents Fabric Data Days DP700, which is a volume 4. So it's today we have three sessions which focus on DP700 certification from end to end guidance. So this is a session 2 from Microsoft MVP, Microsoft Data Platform MVP, Superuser at Fabric Community, and BI lead at Bosch, and a 5 times Microsoft certified trainer, which is Rajendra Ongole. And we will start today. Topic is ingest and transform data. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sashi. My voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
Let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So, you want me to start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located and join for today's session. So I know this is Sunday morning, but as a part of Microsoft Fabric Data Days, we got this slot to get it, share this knowledge on DP700. So last Friday, we completed our first session related to this DP700, the session one, which is Amit has been taken care about it, like implementation and analytics platform. So how it is, and he given the brief about Microsoft Fabric and how we are going to use it and so on. So as a part of the series, so today we have three series, like after me, followed up with Suparna, Babu and Anusha on a DP700 platform. The first, as a part of this today, inject and transform data. So whoever joined earlier, So I just want to give you some glimpses about injection and the transformation data. I mean, I have given a lot of other sessions as well. So here I will going to showcase some different way of data ingestion process as well. So please focus here. Maybe if you are planning to try on your own, so let me know so that I can maybe after the session, right? It's anyway it is a recording. I can provide you the credentials for get created this accounts, Microsoft Fabric account, so that you can also plan it and try these ingestion processes. Complete data sets, which I'm going to use it. These data sets are already available globally, so you can download it. Maybe if you can ask me, I can also share these data sets with you for your practice and get it certified on this. The main motto here, DPS 700 program. So let's get started. So thanks, Ishi. Thanks for this opportunity and also giving this warm welcome on my intro. And today we are going to discuss about inject and transform batch data processing, like on-premises source system, how we are going to get and inject the data with a different source system. Like I assume that if you have the data sets locally, or maybe if you have the data sets or tables that located in some on-premises server, or maybe I want to work and want to do the transformations via notebooks. That part also, if time permits, I'm going to showcase to you batch processing, how we are going to do the ingestion and as well as the batch processing. And other than that, inject and transform streaming data. Like if you're working on the streaming source systems like Azure IoT Hubs, real-time data, like Azure Grids, Azure Data Explorer, how we are going to inject it, like what kind of an operation or else how we are going to import those kind of a source systems like streaming source systems into your fabric environment. And along with that, design and implementation loading patterns. Multiple ways are there loading patterns wise. We can choose maybe if I'm very good at data flow gen 2, I can use that low code platform to get it inject almost as similar like Power Query editor. Maybe I'm very good at notebooks. I can start injecting the data via notebooks and do the transformation via Spark language and further processing to get it loaded in the table in the proper structure. So different patterns are there. We will discuss about it. And from your end, please, if you have any questions, please post it in the chat so that I can take your queries at the end, or maybe it's urgent. So she is going to read it and I can take your queries as well.
Yes,
I'll just
post
try
your.
to, sorry,
Yes, sir. Yes,
shall,
sir. Continue.
okay. So this is Fabric Data Engineering certification. How many of you completed this as of now after Fabric Data Days? Can you please post is completed, not completed? Please post it. So this is not a simple certification program. It is at the level of intermediate stage, and you can see the double star. And most of the questions will be on the real-time activities part, like the Spark related queries. We are going to get it, and the main motto here and the average rating also, like example, most of the weightaging part, ingestion and transform data is going to capture, and securing and managing analytic solution, and monitoring and optimization analytic solution. These three are the major concepts which has been segregated the weightages as well, like a 30 to 35% and so on. Maybe I'm going to showcase that part also in the next slide. And coming to the languages here, for the transformations part, we are going to use SQL and PySpark, if you're familiar with this programming languages part, and Kusto query languages for maybe if you are working on the real-time intelligence, like example, if you're working with the streaming source systems like Analytic source systems or Kafka or Confluence source system, we can use Kusto query language, where we have the huge information like petabytes of data. In such kind of a scenario, we will definitely go for the Kusto query language and try to import and backend language, which will be get support for data manipulations and so on. So that is the first session which we already completed, implement and manage analytic solutions by Amit Chandak, and he already covered about workspace settings, life cycle of Microsoft Fabric, governance and orchestration process. And today's part actually we discussed about 30 to 35% weightage marks. Like, I mean, like, there is no negative marking, but the questions concepts wise, we are going to get it 30 to 35% on these ingestion part, because there are multiple ways, different ways to get it, import those data into your lake houses, and from there you can take it forward and do the controlling operations accordingly as per the business requirements. And remaining part, we are going to get it covered for the further sessions like monitoring and observations, and maybe the last, right? Anusha is going to take about DP700 preparation part. Fine. As a part of the data ingestion, there are different storage modes. Like maybe if you are working with the larger file source systems, or maybe if you are working with the very big source systems, like unstructured or semi-structured source systems, we can get it familiar with this extraction via lakehouse. First, we'll get started with the lakehouse creation, and from there we can take it forward. Those transformation activities, which is in the form of a tabular, whether to the warehouse to make sure that we are maintaining the SCDs, slowly changing dimensions, and further SQL databases as well, Azure cloud-based SQL databases too, which is almost as same as SSMS on-premises source system, like our SQL Server Management Studio. So in the similar format, we can also store the data extraction or whatever you are injected that information onto your Azure SQL databases as well. And choosing the right option as per the business scenario, either you can directly go for the lake house, or maybe you can try to preferably with the warehouse, or it's a choice. So if as per the data, it's all depends upon the data how it looks like. If our data is not up to the standard, like assume that if you have something like a huge information which is not in proper format, in such kind of a scenario you'll definitely go and make use of the lake houses. And if your data is something like a structure, and you want to maintain some transactional information in this form of schema design, like a staging layer, enterprise data warehousing, and so on. In such kind of a scenario, will definitely make use of the structured information will be get stored via warehouse. And even from the SQL database point of view, you can also import this information as just like creating some different set of schemas, like staging layer, or maybe you can try to create predefined report development layer or enterprise data warehouse layer in the form of a schema design. Like by default, we are going to get it as a DBO schema on a SQL database part. You can also change the schemas in the database, SQL database, and we can create a multiple schemas, and we can get it imported into your Fabric warehouses, Fabric or Lakehouse or SQL databases too. The front end should be looks in this way. If you're working with, maybe if you can get start with the lake house in Fabric, this is the front end look. The DP601 is the naming convention, which we have given the workspace name, and the diamond icon, which you are observing at the top, that is nothing but a Fabric content here. And the left hand side, make it familiar with yourself, like left hand side, whatever the option or activities that are available vertically. So that is a workspace, and other than the workspace, a house with a lake or else water symbol, which is getting identified as a lake house. So inside the lake house, we can also follow the Mendelian architecture, like a bronze layer for the to store the raw data, and a silver layer is for the processed information, and gold layer is for the ready to visualize. Maybe that particular information is ready on your source systems, I mean database part, we are ready to get it visualized to the global audience via Power BI and other personas which is already there in your Microsoft Fabric. Whenever you can get start creating the lake house, you can see a explorer window. The DP601 bronze layer is one of the lake house which has been get created. Inside the works that particular lake house, you can see two different folders. One with the tables for the to store the information in the form of a tabular data, files. Maybe if your data is something like unstructured or semi-structured, and maybe if you want to get it, make use of the shortcut, we can also make use of this file source system to get it extract also. Shortcut is something like maybe if your source systems is already there in your existing lake houses, we can pull it over. Or maybe if your data, if you want to pull it over from some external databases or source systems, you can also make use of the shortcut operations, like uh, storage buckets from Amazon services or Google Cloud Computing. You can try to pull it over without storing that information into your lake house. It will be get added to your, I mean, this particular browser, this lake house windows. Fine. Once you can get start with the Explorer window, you can perform some different operations. Whenever the lakehouse has been get created, you can also write the SQL queries, because by default for each and every lakehouse, one SQL endpoint will be get generated. So in one particular workspace, if you're observing 601, DP601 is one of the workspace. Once you get created the lakehouse, automatically whenever the lakehouse has been get created, a SQL endpoint will be get generated at the backend. So maybe you want to do some testing with this queries, or maybe if you want to write optimization of this select statements, read-only operations on the extracted tables, you can make use of this SQL endpoints and write to your queries, and then prepare your quick or ad hoc visualization by using visualize result. Or maybe if you want to download that particular data set, you can also download it via multiple approaches, like download Excel file or CSV kind of a file format source systems. Practically also I'm going to showcase, but as a part of slides which has been received from Fabric database, I'm just showcasing this part actually. So this is where you can see the operations, like the complete information about the workspace, and when the last refresh, what is the sensitivity of your data set, like it is a confidential or generally available public data sets, or very confidential is also restricted, restricted sensitivity also we can get it configured anywhere, each and every lake houses as per the business needs. Fine. So anyway, we are not going to cover the data warehouse concept, but this is how the in data warehouse, the working with the data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric is something like you can write the queries, you can create the tables or views, or even we can try to all DML, DDL operations, we can get it performed via data warehouse. And even we can try to prepare the schema building, like a DBO is the by default schema, which I discussed just now, right? Like that, you can also create your own schemas. Not only we will follow with the by default schema DBO, we can also create your dedicated schema. Like example, I'm saying that in my real-time experience, I will create multiple schemas for each and every, like branch extractions. After doing that, like a predefined or staging layer, where my data will be get stored for 1 or 2 days. After that, as per the data retention policies, it will be get removed, and the next day a fresh data will be get added. And the historical plus current data, which we will follow the SCD tab to, the data will be get stored in an enterprise level data warehouse. That is also, we have a separate schema for that edw dot that particular table. Example, if you're observing here, dbo is the schema name here, and dim customer underscore gold is the table information. So in such kind of a scenario, if you are following the Medallion architecture, staging dot dim customer underscore staging, that is going to be the one single or 2 days retention period of the data information. After that, next day the data will be get cleansed. We will use some notebooks to get delete the data from the staging layer, and that information plus current data, older information plus current data will be get stored in another schema, that is enterprise level edw dot table information, which is going to maintain the history plus current data as well. So like that, we will follow and work with the data warehouse concepts. Once the data has been injected and the data is in the form of a tabular information, we can get it, create multiple schemas and then process accordingly. Along with that, if you're observing, we can also create visual level representations, like you can see here a pipeline dimension product. After that, we can get it connect to the fact sales order, which is going to be your fact table, and you can also perform some transformations on the top of it. Like example, it is almost as familiar with the Power Query editor, but we are going to do these activities with the online Power Query editor. So you can use this visual references, and just a kind of a drag and drop that particular dim customer gold or dim product underscore gold. Further, you can give a connect to the fact table or maybe some another table by using some join conditions like a transformations. You can perform these further activities inside the data warehouse concept as well. If you have any questions, please post it so that I can take your queries at the end or maybe in the middle. Fine. Once it is ready, what next? So once you define proper structure and once you have processed that information and ready to use, you can start building the model. So you can click on this. Earlier, we are able to see something like a default semantic model that has been removed now. You have to create a dedicated semantic model now for each and every table. Like maybe example, 5 tables are there. In that 5 tables, maybe I'm very much interested with the 4 tables as of now. In such kind of a scenario, I can pull it over by creating the semantic model and bring this relationship. Maybe as the future part, I'm going to pull it over the fifth table. In such kind of a scenario, I can go here and just try to add just a simple kind of a select option. We can get it added and add this to your existing model to your analysis, further modeling activities, and then report building as well. So once how it is going to get it created, assume that we are aware on the Power BI part import method and as well as the direct query method, but here because you are working on the Fabric environment and the data will be get stored in your lake houses and as well as the main pillar is the one lake, you can try to get it import very quicker by using the direct lake operation. So here the direct lake is the extraction or else import, like we are importing the data to the Power BI, right? Like that we can see the operations like a direct lake here, direct lake wise, and you can see the fastness compared with the direct query too. So because the data is already there in our cloud environment, and from there you can see the analysis or else visualizations as quick as possible. Relationship building is as same as what we will do in the Power BI desktop level connection between one table to the another table. Like we have to select the common columns, even the manage relationship option is there. But the data triggering part, once you open the manage relationship, it is not going to visible. So we just have to navigate manually and select the common columns between each and every table. Like example here, I have selected dimension customer to the fact sales order. So the common column is customer key is the common column. Either you can directly map, drag and drop, or maybe you can utilize the manage relationship. You are not going to see the data very quick. It will take some time as it will load and process the information in the cloud part. You have to manually give the connection between one table to the another table. Similar cardinalities that we are going to have it, like as we already aware, one to many, many to one to one, and many to many is also recently added as per the managed relationships part. So working with the SQL database is as same as how we are getting familiar with the SSMS Studio. So you can see the schema operations. You can also provide the login credentials for the restriction of the user, like SQL authentication mode, or maybe that particular table. I want to give some permission settings. We can also get it configure by creating these security and permission settings on your each and every schema or database configurations part. Fun. If you're observing batch data ingestion tools, so you can get it extract or import the data via, if you are get familiar with the Apache Spark. Example, I'm very familiar with writing the codes. I can make use of Apache Spark notebooks. I can get it imported via file source systems and get it perform some more transformations on the top of it and make sure that my table is going to be in the form of tabular way. Backend, by default, some of the Spark libraries has been get installed. Maybe if you want to use existing notebooks also, we have a functionality to get it import some external notebooks into your Fabric environment too. And SQL Analytics endpoint, one way of after getting import, you can also make use of writing the select statement, and you can also optimize the number of columns in a table. But once the SQL Analytics endpoint enabled, it will be acts like a read-only operation. So you cannot modify the extracted table or else something like you cannot delete it. Please keep in mind this is very very important on your DP700 part also. And also you can also import data flow gen 2 wise, inject the data via data flow gen 2 as well. So which is almost as familiar like on premises what we will do in the Power Query editor, but data flow gen 2 is similar capabilities in the cloud application Fabric environment. So we will call it as an online Power Query editor. So because you are trying to perform these are all activities on your cloud based environment. There is a perception like data flow gen 1 is and data flow gen 2 is same. No, it's not like that. Data flow gen 1 is something like if you are using the Power BI capacities, then if your data set size is small, then in such kind of a scenario it makes sure that you are going to use the data flow gen 1. And if you are using huge data information and you want to process that information, the cloud applications part, once the fabric capacities as enabled, data flow gen 2 will be get a trigger whenever if you want to inject the data. It's almost a similar feature, but the carry forward is data which is going to handle like a larger data sets or smaller data sets. And few more functionality differences are there between gen 1 and gen 2 as per the capacities and processing part, data processing part, and even data pipeline as well. So maybe if I'm very good and familiar with this data pipelines, Azure Data Factories, I can also use the uh, copy commands, and I can make use the canvas import, instant import options, and we can inject the data and process and get it stored in our existing lake houses as well. That's what I said, right? Shortcut also. Maybe I don't want to re-extract the similar information which is already there in my lake house. In such kind of a scenario, I can make use of the shortcut extraction. So please keep in mind the icons. Okay, most of the times I will keep these in my mind. Okay, these dots with the house is nothing but SQL endpoint. This house with lake is going to be the lake house, and this is this particular icon which you are observing that on-prem Power Query editor, online Power Query editor is for the data flow gen 2, and pipeline and shortcut is kind of a small link kind of an icon, so that we can easily capture how or what are the ways you are extracting the data sets. Maybe if you're joining in the middle of the project, so that it will be helpful to you. So simple, it is an ingestion guide. So first column is going to be the use case and data pipeline wise, like by using copy, data factory wise, we can try to inject the data. Data flow gen 2, if I'm very good and familiar with online Power Query editor, I can choose my preference as a data flow gen 2. Assume that I'm very good at the data ingestion part, writing the code. It's a completely code background. So I can choose and prefer Spark language or SQL Spark or R languages to get it inject and do the further processing as per the cleansing operations, like a transformation as well as a cleansing operations. It's very important. So just make sure that which one you are into it. My suggestion is if you're working with the huge data and make sure that it is going to have the light data transfer, my suggestion is the data pipeline. So sometimes I faced issues with data flow gen 2 as well, like a loading part. So preference, if you ask me the preference part, how can I inject the data, means my personal preference should be on data pipeline, even the casting part also compared with the data flow gen 2. Fine, let's get start with some injection of the ingestion transform batch data by using some of the approaches I'm going to showcase to you. Please observe. So you can get it open this browser via app.powerbay.com, or maybe if you're already using the Fabric license, you can also get it connect with app.fabric.microsoft.com. That is fine. I'm using app.powerbay.com because regularly I will get connect to it. So the similar verticals you can see here, you can change it from here also to the Fabric environment. Currently I'm in the app.powerbay.com, right? I have opened, so it's open within Power BI. Currently, I'm using the trial account. So the trial license and capacities, how we are going to configure or else where we are going to observe in the sense, whenever if you can get start with creating some workspaces, a dedicated workspaces, you are going to observe it. Let me create one simple workspace and let me showcase you the different licenses and approaches too. Let me create Fabric database. This is the naming convention I have provided. Of name is available. If you can little down, you can see different licenses that are available. So again, I'm just giving a heads up here. If you are using the Power BI Pro license, you're going to see data flow Gen 1 only, not Gen 2, because it's going to handle the data with lighter weight, not for huge or very big data analytics. And currently I'm using the trial account. It is a Fabric trial capacity. which is going to valid for some days, 60 days they're providing. Like that, different licenses are available. You can see like a premium per user or fabric capacity, embed or premium capacities and so on. I'm using trial here. Let's try to create it. So this is what I said. DAG is the workspace name, and this is the fabric content. I'm using the trial capacity workspace. So trial, right? We will face some lag also, like a slowness as well. So please keep in mind there are different capacities on the fabric environment. Like F2, it is starting with F2, like F2, F4, F32, F64 is the best range, but the cost is also we have to check it over. They have released fabric capacity costing details as well, like a calculator as well. So fine, once I get created the workspace, how can we get start here? Maybe assume that your data resides somewhere uh, on Azure blob storage. How we are going to get it extract? First of all, once we get created the workspace, we need to have a dedicated lake house. So where we are going to get create the lake houses. So here by default, it's not going to showcase anything on the top of it. You can click on the new items, different personas are going to visible to you as well. So see here, these are the different person. Maybe I have configured the favorite here, or all items. These are the different personas. Maybe I want to get start with Cosmos DB or data mart building or real time data ingestion wise, like using the event house, or I want to store some data by using very big data and then processing with the cleansing operation with the different ways. I can get start with the lake house, or maybe I can build a sample warehouses and so on. You can see the different personas that are available on each and every fabric workspaces. Okay, some are preview, so they're still on preview operations. So just to keep in mind, just try to play with some sample data part as well. Let me get start with lakehouse building. You have to give a proper name without any spaces. Try to give a naming conventions properly. Just giving something like lakehouse ingestion. Any questions up to this part? If you have any questions, please let me know. So whenever you are creating the lake houses, on the left hand side, the explore window will be get added. So sometimes, right, even if there is any existing lake houses, you can also add the existing lake house. You no need to create a new one. You can also create or add existing lake houses instead of recreating or else some operations. It will be get rid of the duplication activities too. So this is the icon lake house LH inject. Whenever you created the lake house explorer, you can see two folders. One is for the managed folder, another one is unmanaged folder. Unmanaged folder is something which is going to handle, I mean, simple terms I can say, like unstructured semi-structured information, maybe for the flat file source systems, or maybe if you want to get it extract something like an external source system, we can make use of files here. Suppose my data is very clean and it is a tabular, I can get it extract via directly tables too. We can get it import the data via some on-premises SQL server and try to import it, and you can see the table information inside of this managed folder. So managed and unmanaged folder is the technical names. So fine, how I'm going to inject the data? So there are different ways. Maybe if you want to get start with some sample data, you can also get start with this. They're providing some sample data like a taxi data, yellow taxi data, or COVID related, weather related, okay, and stock market related. You can just play with that. And the table information, which is going to extract it, the table will be get stored on your tables part, tables folder, because it's completely structured information. That's fine. So how I'm going to extract means, as I said, I'm going to showcase to you some different approaches so that please observe here. Let me first extract. See here, you can also upload the files locally if it is already available. Or maybe if you want to build a pipeline, which is nothing but a similar experience as like a data factory, you can also make use of the new pipeline. Or maybe if you want to get it, inject the data via data flow gen 2, it is as similar experience as like a Power Query editor, but we are doing this Power Query editor at the online cloud environment. The name is online Power Query editor is a similar experience. And a new shortcut just now I discussed, you can select it, you can see the external source systems too, like S3 buckets, compatibility, blob storages. Earlier it was not there, and GCS, okay, and even the internal existing one lake also you can try to get it import, and you can store the table information on your tables folder too. Fine, let me showcase to you the step by step, one by one. Okay, first let's try to get it extract via new pipeline, giving the naming convention, like maybe I'm going to get it extract uh, sales inject is the table name, that particular backend table name, but I'm just giving the table name for the pipeline as well for my reference part. Don't don't give any table name, so that maybe in future, right, if you are not giving the table information, if you're not providing that proper naming conventions, it's very difficult to identify each and every workspaces on the naming convention. So that make sure that you are giving the proper naming conventions, so that in future or maybe after some days, it is easy for you to refer and get it import as per your requirement, or maybe further addition of your source systems. Let me get it extract via HTTP. So I can make use of one of the file here. Let's try to sales in my locally GitHub raw data. Any questions, Ceci, up to this part?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm just, my file is available here in this particular location, which is my GitHub. Maybe if you are trying to practice, I will provide you this link. It's available. You can also practice it later. Okay. Just trying to copy and paste the link here. So whenever if you are trying to get connected, this connecting, see here, the connection type is my GitHub and already connected. Earlier I have connected. If it is a new connection, you have to get it created the new connection, provide with a proper authentication method, so that you can see the configuration. If the file is not in a private, I mean, if it is in the private mode, you cannot able to import these files into your application, that is in the Fabric environment. Make sure that this is then available publicly, and provide the proper authentication mechanism, like choosing the options, and try to get it import into your applications too. Select next. I'm not providing any relative URLs. I want to use the get, method, request method is a get method, not post. Already I want to import it. I want to get it import into my application. I'm not providing any details, timeout request and so on. I'm just make sure that it is a blank. So whenever, if you're using the pipeline with a instant copy activities, you can see here step-by-step process to choose the data source. I have chosen the data source HTTP, and choose the path, which method you are using. I want to get it extract the data, so I'm using the request method. I'm not providing any added column headers or something. And the next path is choose the destination. Where do you want to store this data, this particular sales data? So I'm choosing the destination should be on LH inject is my lake house. And then choose the data destination, how the proper, like, is, do you want to remove, is there any columns that you want to remove from the sales table, like a cleansing operations you can try to perform from this data destination. And then review it from where to where the data will be get stored information. You can review it via review plus save operations. So row delimiter, I'm using line feed for the next line to get it added. And you can also review the data preview here. You can just cross check how many number of columns that are available. And the schema we don't have, this one has been recently added. You can see these are all the columns in string type, but some of the columns are in the number type. I want to change the data types as well. So in such kind of a scenario, the next while choosing the destination, and then you can change the data types as well. If you want to do something like a connection with one table to the and the table two, using the next. taking some time. So here, choosing to the data destination is going to be the root folder is stable. Suppose if you're extracting the data via files, you can change it and provide the path also. So in the files, two things are there, right, in the lakehouse. One is managed, the folder. Another one is tables folder. Another one is unmanaged files. Maybe if you want to get it stored that file or else that particular CSV in a file source system, you can get it configure the files and then move it over from files to the table. But as of now, I'm directly taking into the table here. It's not an existing table, it's a new table. So I'm just trying to configure as a new table. It's nothing is there. So here you can change it. As I said, right, you can also change it the data types as well. Like example, these are the data types. You can change it like a number, and line order is also a number, integer. You can change it. Maybe if you don't want some columns, right, you can also delete unwanted columns as well. It's up to you. Choose next. So here, from where to where, this is very, very important. So you can see it's storing in my local GitHub, and I want to store this data. Destination is I have configured LH injector. So the table information, you can see from where to where the data is getting transferred and moving. So delimited text CSV file to the Microsoft Fabric Lakehouse in this particular table information. I want to get start the data transfer immediately. Run next. It will take some time as per the bandwidth and network also, sometimes the data set part, and each and every notification, right, you can get it observed here. Okay, whether it is success or failure. You can see some failures also, failure information as well. We can see the complete information and stats about your whatever the operations you are trying to perform. So see here like this example here, it's failed. Operation target has been failed running on the gateway. Okay, but some cloud operations has been incompatible. Please enable the option allow connections to the gateway, because I haven't enabled my gateway here, because it has to be stored via gateway. I have configured it, so we have to enable it. So this means this file will not get visible to you on your existing lake houses too. So see here, it's going to blank. Refresh it. Refresh. So here we have a refresh. So it's a cloud environment, right? It will take some time to get it visible to you, that data set, and as well as the trigger pipeline as well. So this is the icon which we discussed. Okay, let me showcase to you. Let me enable it and then let process it. Give me a minute. Any questions from your end?
No, sir.
Okay, just give me a minute so that I can get it configured, and then just trying to configure my gateway. Hope you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please post your queries, and I will take your queries if time permits before next session. Making sure that my gateway is up and running. You can see here it's up and running. So earlier it was failed due to my gateway is not up and running. So let's try to cross verify one more time. And one more, few more things I just want to share it with you. So whenever, no need to worry about it once it get failure. Maybe you can get start from here, like using the copy data activity, add canvas or use copy assistant so that you can see the step-by-step process. So just try to cross verify where it got failed, and then from there onwards you can take it forward and then execute. You can see the complete information. The activity was running on the cloud, but some cloud connections are incompatible to get it extract or else to put it that particular file, that particular CSV file into your lake house. So let me showcase to you one more configuration path here, data destination part. I don't want to append. I don't want to overwrite it. Append action. And here also we can get it, create the table. Let me take it as sales table. Okay. Fine. Let me showcase in a different way. Sorry. One more other approach I will showcase to you because the gateway is already enabled. It's not working as expected. Let me pull it over. The similar table is already posted in the Azure blob as well. Let me use this extraction. So how it is going to be, and this particular activities I'll just try to showcase to you. Give me a minute. Let me copy my blob storage account. Similar configuration. So here I'm using the SaaS shared access signature, which is going to valid for the authentication mode with some 6 months notice like this. So I'm not using any authentication method with my name, which is my official, so that I'm using the connection method, which is valid for 60 days notice period. So let me use this configuration. So from here, I can try to pull it over some table, and that particular table will be visible to you on this lake house. Few tables I'm going to extract it from this particular container, data files. Sales, same table is available, so that's why I'm just trying to pull it over from here. Data destination. So we already just created the LH inject. So I try to select it here. Yes. Recently I'm getting that pop-up actually. So here these two types of approaches are method: copy all the data at one go, or maybe you want to perform this incremental copy like a subsequent. My data is very huge, on daily basis I want to add, and as well as I want to update it. In such kind of a scenario, we will process with the incremental copy or refreshes. So I'm using the first refresh, first copy, right? First copy always you can use and get it, load this information onto the lake house with the first copy. Maybe the time permits on the day to day, if you are getting added some new data in such kind of a scenario, you can also edit this particular copy activity and we can change the configurations to the incremental copy as well. Like maybe last older data, I'm not going to refresh it. Like last 5 days data, I want to refresh it. In such kind of a scenario, you can use incremental refresh as well. So same table naming convention I'm using. So see here the sales DWH. And if you want to edit and change the columns, like number of columns, you can remove it, or you can also change the data types accordingly. I'm not doing it here as of now. I'm just trying to showcase to you how it will be get visible and loaded to this lake house. Save it. At the top, you can see multiple operations like you can validate the extracted errors available copy jobs, and then you can schedule it multi with the different frequencies as per the data availability. And let me validate it first. Deactivate, activate. And few more questions I'm getting like how this data will be get see here the pipeline is successfully running and it is going to available for us on this table part. So the data will be available in the form of delta parquet format file. So here the data will be get it compressed in a columnar way, not in a row by row. And even if you're extracting the data with a huge like MB, I mean like 500 MB or 600 MB file also, it will be get visible to you in the form of KBs only, because the Parquet file format is going to store and it will be in the form of JSON. Even that particular Parquet format files also, you can process it via notebooks as well. So here the notebook operations is there. You can call this, you can also create those transformations inside and you can perform further operations accordingly. So open a notebook and you can get it processed with some more configurations and then methods too. Okay. Any questions up to this part? Do you have any
Yes, sir. We
questions?
have one question.
Closed. Yes, please.
When do we use gateways?
Gateways, whenever if you're using on-premises source systems, like example, if you're trying to import the data via SQL Server, right? In such kind of a scenario, we need a gateways. Is that answered?
Yes, sir.
Please respond, whoever asked the question. Fine. And here, this is what I just want to showcase to you, scheduler. So you can add, I mean, like maybe I want to get it refresh this particular job, which I'm using the full copy. I can schedule it as per the frequencies, daily, hourly, weekly, or monthly, and as per the time interval, you can set it out. Or maybe you want to get it processed, this particular job. You have a functional to get it edit. You can edit it also, and then you can change the configurations how your expectations, as per the expectations, the table will be get visible to you, and you can change the configurations as an incremental load configurations too. And few more things I just want to get it showcased to you here. And if you're observing, maybe as I said, right, sometimes we'll follow the staging layer. I want to delete the older data which is there in a warehouse, and I want to process with the new data as per the pipeline build. In such kind of a scenario, you can also make use of this delete command. Delete function is also available. So this is delete data command. You can navigate it, you can configure this one. No, sorry, this is reverse. Sorry for this. Let me delete. Okay, so you can just process it, delete as well. First to delete and then load the jobs as well. So like that, you can get it configured and process the staging layer. After that, the historical data plus current data will be in the EDW, enterprise level data warehouse. And from there, you can process with the current or else processed information will be visible to you in the gold layer as well, as per the structure, as per the architecture that you are going to follow. Medallion architecture, most of the time we will follow bronze, silver, and the gold layers. So like that, it will be get approached. One more approach I will showcase to you as per the data extraction. Now I'm trying to currently using the data flow gen 2, which is almost as similar experience as I said earlier, Power Query data. Let me try to pull it over timetable. These are all, I mean, I'm using the trial account, right? Sometimes I'll definitely get the failure information, but don't stop it from there. You can get it extract what you are expecting. Okay. So let me pull it over from locally. It's available in my location. So for local, if you are extracting the data via SharePoint, you don't need any gateways here, okay, because it's already a cloud environment. If your data extraction is locally, that means the SharePoint drive or OneDrive locations, you don't need any gateway configurations. You can just try to get it configure, and you can try to pull it over that whatever the files that are available on this location. Okay, maybe if you're trying to import the data like a PostgreSQL database, or maybe if you're trying to pull it over via SQL Server Management Studio, in such kind of a scenario, definitely you need a gateway configurations. Let me configure it properly. OneDrive configurations. This file is available here. WWI. Let me pull it over like fact orders by basically given the time, but fact orders also we have the time. Let me pull it over and pull it only time information from this. So this data flow gen 2 is almost as similar experience as like Power Query data. You can see the similar like uh, windows on the table extractions. You can see the information as well. WD fact orders. Let me pull it over this extracting, creating it. And here on the top of, I feel like whenever if I'm using the data flow gen 2, I feel like a little bit slower compared to the data pipelines. Okay, it's going to take some time. Even we can try to get it processed, different transformations inside of it. And I mean, as per the consumption part, it is taking huge time. I mean, like milliseconds wise. That's the reason I will preferably, whenever if I'm trying to get it extract some data, first preference should be on the data pipelines and then data flow gen 2. So as similar as like a similar like Windows and Power Query editor, left hand side, you can see queries, centrally data is available, and you can also see the advanced query editor, the data transformation steps, and you can change whatever the transformations you want to get it performed here. And additionally, earlier we are able to see something like here itself the publish option that as the new updates are following up from the Microsoft, it's not visible to you here. You can make use of the save and run here. Save and run. Maybe if there is any changes on your data set, or maybe if you want to get it close, save, run, and close, we can make use of it. Let me do some simple transformation from this. Let's try to pull it over. Only the name of the day, this particular day. Okay. One transformation I'm just trying to perform in this data set. As similar experience as I said, a new column will be get added as per the part of order date. These are the dates, and try to save and run and close. Here also, maybe sometimes if you want to get it configure the data destination, the lake houses, we can get it configured as well. So here it will be still loading. And you can see this information on your lake house. Any questions till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Uh, could you show
Hmm.
how to delete activity settings?
Activity directly, you can delete it. Select it and you can delete that activity too. That is fine. Okay, select that activity, you can delete it like this. See here, select it, right click and then delete it. Here, you can see this, delete. Okay, this one is also fine. Delete it below. Got it?
Data settings, sir.
Sorry,
How to delete data settings?
data settings means? Data settings means already configured information you're seeing. Configured information. So select it, select your ingestion part, and then you can also use this approach like a edit approach is there, and then you can delete it. That is also fine. Or else maybe you can just try to select it and you can configure to the fresh or else new data settings too. That is also fine. Got it? Sure. Output files and so on. You can edit and then delete it. Currently it is an inactive, you can see. Unmute yourself otherwise if you have some queries. Like that, yesterday I given one more session related to the real-time data processing. Maybe you can also find it over on the LinkedIn. So see here, real-time data processing is something the data source, how we are trying to get it inject the data. First of all, if you're trying to inject the data, real time, that is continuously flowing data, you can make use of, like example, what are the source systems that we're going to have for the real or streaming source system, like example Azure IoT Hub or Azure Grids or Azure Data Explorer. We can try to capture the source systems and via event stream, and there you are going to process it, that there we are going to perform some transformations internally, and furtherly we can load on the event house. So, and one more thing, event house is not a storing layer. It's kind of a cluster. Inside the event house, you can get it create the KQL databases. There, the queries or data source systems databases will be get stored on the KQL. And further processing part where we are going to get store this data. So if you're observing the data destination part, you can store it on the event house via event that particular KQL databases. And even internally, if they want to store that real-time real processing data into the lake house, you can also get it configured and derived or processed streaming engine. So there also you can get it stored your data destinations too, like configuring with existing streaming source system with the another like a merging activities also you can perform it accordingly. So multiple transformations as a part of the data transformations part on the streaming. So I just listed few of the important things like filtering the data, manage operation, even union and join operations you can try to perform. All the left and right outers will be get it performed on the real-time source systems as well. So few more minutes I will take. So storing the data, if you are working on the streaming source, as I said, right, two types of storage methods. Batch processing is like on-premises, which I showcased you, one with extracting with on-premises location, and one more few file extractions too. Like a streaming source system is something like is a real-time data. So backend, if you are working with the streaming source system, you definitely make use of a KQL language. So whenever a event house has been get created, a KQL database and as well as KQL query set to execute or process your queries will be get created. And on the top of it, you're going to write your queries and you can perform further operations accordingly as per the KQL language is not a case sensitive, it's a case sensitive language. So make sure that the each and every commands compared with the SQL statement, even transaction SQL is supported, but suggest you if you're working with the huge data or else volumes of data, make sure that you're going to make use of this KQL commands itself via KQL query set. On the top of it, it's supporting, if you're working with the real-time data, it's supporting both of the visualizations. Like maybe if you want to get it visualized via real-time dashboards, you can preferably make use of it and get it configured the frequency with the continuous refresh, or else maybe 10 minutes or 10 seconds refresh also you can get it configured via real-time dashboard. And some limitations I have identified on the real-time dashboards part, you can see some limited visuals only, not like how Power BI is supporting more number of visuals via this visualization pane. And one more thing, even though we have an auto refreshes on your Power BI part, it's supporting like some customers definitely expect the visualization should be on the Power BI. In such kind of a scenario, you can try to drive these visualizations via preparing the semantic model, and from there you can create the visualizations and set it out auto refresh functionality as well. So each and every event stream is going to store in the form of an record on your event stream processing part, and object value is for the real world triggering part, And whenever the data deviations or anomaly detections has been happen, we can also set an triggering alert by using reflexes. That is an out activator, we are going to call it. Via reflexes, we can configure it and we can send an email notification to those users or else whoever developed that particular analysis so that they can get the notification alerts accordingly. So manage, so we can get it, extract this data, real-time data also. I'll just try to showcase to you here very quick. So this particular example, I have this particular workspace. I want to get it, extract that real source system, real-time data. You can make use of the new item. First, let's try to create a few more minutes. Okay, I will just try to close it. Event
Yes, sir.
house, event house from here, event house, but it is not in ingestion or else extracted data. I mean, like we cannot import it. You can just try to create the event house first and then use the event stream and to get it extract. Or first, my suggestion is, if you're working with the real-time data, first try to inject the data via event stream, capture the real-time data and use the different set of transformations inside of it and get it configure the destination via event house as well. This is how the process, storing part and preparation or cleansing part operations will be taken care. Fine. Any questions up to this part? And few more things. Still, there is a challenge is going on. Maybe if anybody interested to participate on this Fabric Data Days and learn on your own, you can also do that. So DP700 Ignite and Fabric Data Days challenge is going on. Just try to share you this link and please do it at your end if you are free. And one more thing, I will get a lot of requests. I mean, like I'm not getting the voucher. So in such kind of a scenario, we are already giving this particular web link from Fabric community. So whenever, please observe here, you have to sign up with your email ID, like your personal email ID is fine, your Gmail accounts. Sign up to the community first, sign up to this. And you can navigate to this particular window, get Fabric certified, or maybe at the front GUI itself, they are providing this Fabric database. You can select it. Once you come here, which exam you're going to take, try to choose your exam. Recently we conducted DP600 also, and today we're conducting DP700. So maybe example, I'm choosing DP700. I want to get the voucher from this Microsoft. Why do you want to get it certified? Try to provide an unique answer instead of getting the answers from uh, like googling and don't do that. Okay, chat gpts and so on. Just try to provide your unique answers. And this is important, what challenge did you complete or which session did you view? Try to provide. So here one more link, I'm going to give it to you in the chat box. So maybe lot of other community organizers also providing lot of events there. You can check it out. Next gen data analytics and data analytic group is ours, Microsoft Fabric Cave and so on, Indian Microsoft Fabric user group. Try to copy this. Okay, copy this link and give the, whoever the organizer name at the end, India hyphen organizer name, like example, Data Analytic Group, Hyderabad, India, Rajendra Ongole, something like that, or India Microsoft Fabric User Group, Hyderabad, India, Amit Chandak, or something, hyphen, okay, mention next gen data, SUPARNA BABU. This is managed by SUPARNA BABU and so on. So try to provide their name so that you'll definitely get the vouchers, okay, coupons from the Microsoft, and try to fill it everything, okay, when you are planning to take the exam. So please try to make sure that exam must be taken before 31st 2025. Please make sure that, and also the submit these forms earlier, like before December 5th itself. And how you will study? So get it, you are taking this live sessions from MVPs or super users. Try to provide the names, okay, online sessions from Fabric database, provide the details. How you will study? So maybe via some community users, try to provide the user groups and so on. And did you complete it earlier any Microsoft certification? Try to provide the answer yes or no. And provide, if you are work with the Microsoft partners, like some of the partners organizations partnered with there. So if yes means yes, if or else you can leave it blank. It is not a mandatory. Yes, commit. Okay, you are going to take the certification earlier December 31st. 31st and confirm it and submit. So maybe within a couple of days, you are going to receive it to your mail ID, or sometimes, right, they're sending it here also. Okay, just make sure that you can just thoroughly check your messages box also here. Okay, so that you can just check and try to capture this discount voucher from Microsoft. Okay, this is what I just want to share it with you. I hope you like it. And if you have any questions, I'm ready to take it. Sorry for taking additional time. And thanks for this. Thanks for doing. Thank you, Sashi.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Guys, next session will start in within few minutes. Rajendra sir, please answer the questions.
Sure. Any questions? Yes, I'm just going forward. Can you please also show how do we get the Power BI from SQL? Power BI from SQL. KQL, sorry. To Power. Can you please unmute us, Varnamala? What is your question? Maybe I will get a clarity. Let me unmute us first. Yes, please. You can speak.
Sir, good morning all. Sir,
Hi.
I want to know when we are doing real-time analytics, and if
Hmm,
I want to, there's a dashboard, I can make a dashboard in KQL. I mean,
hmm,
while doing that, but
hmm.
how can I publish it if I want to have a Power BI visualization or dashboard? How can I go to Power BI? Because I tried looking for it, I did not get the option for it. So how
Power
do I
BI to
connect?
real time. Power BI to real
Real
time.
time to
Hmm.
Power BI.
Real time to Power BI. Power. I mean, like
Power
don't. There
BI
is no direct
environment you can
option.
say.
There is no
No.
direct option. No. Earlier, we are able to see something like a real time source systems, like a post PubNub. These things that have been removed
Mm-hmm.
recently. So
Uh-huh.
now you have to use the real time analytics, and then that's the reason they are providing two windows, right? So here,
Uh-huh.
a few minutes only. I will not take just few minutes, Sashi. So that's the reason they're providing here whenever you're doing this event stream processing, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
directly providing the Power BI. Okay, Power BI window is there, as well as you can also see the another window, that is Power BI application too. So let me showcase very quick. Okay, see this. This is how you're going to prepare it. Earlier, I'm able to see something like we can see we can capture the Power BI to real-time source system via PubNub and so on, but that option
Okay.
has been get it removed, and you have to make sure that you are going to use the event stream process and then inject it, and there you have an option to choose either you can navigate to the Power BI or then real-time analytics RT dashboards. So that is
Mm-hmm.
what they have provided, but I mean lot of new functionalities are
Okay.
appearing. So so we have to make sure that the options are available or not. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, Rajendra sir, for your insightful session. Guys,
One more question I got is Savio. You are asking the credentials, sir, for practice. So I will share it, Savio. Okay. Just ping me personally. I will give the username and password. You can start practicing it. Okay. And please try to participate on the labs also. Okay. It's very important. Okay. Just a knowledge sharing, right? Try to practice step by step process. Okay. Lab sharing is there from the GitHub so that it is easy for you to crack the DP 700. Maybe if you're planning for the DP 700 examination. Okay. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on the LinkedIn so that I can answer to your queries. And I hope you like my first session. And next session, Suparna Babu is ready. Hi, Suparna Babu. Suparna Babu, you there?
Hey,
guys,
hi,
let's
hello
welcome our
Rajendra.
next.
Hey, hi Shashi. How are you?
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Next welcome our next speaker. INTURI Superna Babu is a Microsoft Fabric community super user and a specialist data engineer, which is now topic is monitor and optimize Microsoft Fabric solutions. Sir, the stage is your start the session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shashi and Rajendra and Data Analytics Group team. Thanks for this invite. So let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Can you confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Uh, Thank you all. Thanks for joining with us on this Sunday. So good morning everyone who are attending from India, and good evening, good afternoon for from whichever part of you are attending. So this session. So I know you already attended two sessions in this series, the session 1 and session 2 just now wrap up by Rajendra. And this session 3 majorly will focusing on the how you need to monitor and optimize your solution. So here if you see this session 1, just a minute, let me take my pen. So this one is completed and this is just completed, and currently this is in progress, and after this session this is going to take care by some other speaker. So today in this session I am going to take this monitor and optimize your solutions. Moving on to the further slide. So how, so for the completion of this certification is not only about you need to build the pipelines, you need to run the Spark jobs, and you need to build the reports. You need to monitor and optimize your Microsoft solutions. Why you need to monitor and optimize this Microsoft Fabric solutions? In subsequent slides we can see that. So before jumping into the session, let me introduce myself. Myself, INTURI BABU. So I'm a BTech graduate and I do have around 7+ years of experience in data analytics field. As mentioned by Seshi, I'm currently a active Fabric community super user, and I'm Microsoft certified PL300, DP600, DP700, and currently I'm working as a data engineering specialist. And you all see my core skills and which domains currently I'm working. Moving on to the further slide. So today what we will cover in this session. So here if you see, the first and foremost I'll start with why monitoring and optimization is very important in the Fabric, followed by monitor analytic solutions and how you can optimize analytic solutions in Fabric, and last but not least security and compliance monitoring. So these are all the 4 topics which is I'm going to discuss with all of you. Moving on to the further slide. So if I give you the recap, so already you would have gone through these sessions. This DP700 is a level, it's a intermediate level, and here if you see only they are focusing on the 3 parts. This is already you attended, this is already you attended, currently you are attending this. So here which majorly they focusing on these languages as mentioned by Rajendra: SQL, PySpark, KQL. These are the 3 languages which is mainly you need to work in the Microsoft Fabric environment. Moving on to the further slide. So here if you see in this, see already this is completed. So let's say for example implement and manage analytic solutions, the score, the weightage they are giving 30 to 35%, and ingest and transform data same, and monitor and optimize and analyze solutions. You can see monitor the Fabric environments, identify and resolve the errors, and optimizing the performance. If you want to visit the DP700 study guide, just go to this ak.ms DP700 study guide. So Shashi is going to share the link in the chat box. Moving on to the further slide. So before going into the technical discussion, let me tell you why this monitoring and optimization is very important in layman terms with all of you. So here if you see, so let's say I'll go with the first layman terms. So if you see, this is the electricity bill. I am from Bangalore. This snap I took from the internet. So here if you see, what is the billing amount? 29,269. Let's say here just I took example 10,000. So what if suddenly your electricity bill got 29,000? Obviously you will get panic, because every month you are getting like let's say 500,000, suddenly you got 29,000, you obviously will get panic. Then what you need to do, you need to check immediately which appliances is consuming more. Let's say if I have AC, or else I have geyser, I have room heater, or else something induction stove, you need to consume. So whenever there is a normal temperature, just turn off your AC and don't use your geyser when there is a sunshine is there. Then if there is in daytime, fans and lights not required, it's depending upon the location. If those fans and lights not required, you can turn off that, and you can reduce the wastage. So you don't use induction stove, go for gas stove. Like this you need to reduce the your electricity bill. This is the way you need to reduce it. Why? Because the bill is increasing. In the same way, if I tell you why fabric use also here, if I tell you fabric capacity units also is like your electricity units. If you don't monitor, so what will happen? One pipeline will consume too much capacity units, and warehouse it will run heavy queries, and Spark session open for job hours. If you are going to write a Spark code in notebook, you need to connect that with the cluster. You need to turn on the cluster. Once if you turn on the cluster, whether if you run the query or if you not run the query, the billing will go. The billing will done by the Microsoft Fabric. That's why once if you your Spark session everything is completed, you can stop your session. But anyhow, in Fabric we have auto stop feature. But if I talk about Databricks or some other Synapses, Azure Synapses environment, we need to stop it manually. Otherwise, it will run. Otherwise, it will run. So this is just lemon example I want to bring in front of all of you to understand clearly why this monitoring is very, very important. So moving on to the further slide. Here, if you see, so significance of monitoring and optimization in Fabric. Why this is very, very important. So if you just, it not only you are, see nowadays Fabric is fast in the market for past 2 years. This month it completed 2 years. This month it completed 2 years. So everyone is going the Fabric, acquiring the trial lessons, they are creating the pipeline, they are doing the everything. So at the end of the day, you need to maximize the performance. How you need to maximize the performance? You need to reduce the items, you need to optimize, you need to do lot of things, and you need to do the cost control also. If you ask me, cost control is a very, very important. It's not about only you are building the pipelines, you are doing everything, not because there is a project is where it is starting, it will have a budget. You need to complete that within that budget. Don't go beyond for that budget, because as a team lead, as a project manager, they will know about Power BI admins, Power BI architects. So data architects will know how to control this cost, and you need to allocate the better resources. It means that, let's say I'll take one example. There is a workspace. In workspace, let's say there is a developer, A developer, there is a B developer. So a lot of developers are working on that this workspace. Obviously the cost will increase. So depending upon the requirement, you need to allocate your resources according to the requirement to cost control to maximize the performance and efficiency. And you will have your, so according to the timelines here, if you see, as per the timelines and proactive issue detection, if there is any issue, immediately you need to detect that issue, you need to resolve the issue. This is also comes under optimization and issue mitigation. Moving on to the further slide. So here if you see, what is the benefits of monitoring and optimization? As I mentioned earlier in the lemon example, I got my electricity bill 10,000. So if I don't monitor, what will happen? Next month it will go 15,000, and subsequent month go it will go 20, 30, like it will go up to ended up with 1 lakh. So if I monitor, then I will turn off all my home appliance whichever not required. So in the same way here, you can also implement everything. So where there is a data or data loss, and scale more efficiently. So if you want to scale any your Spark jobs, you can scale up in Spark settings. In this session, anyhow, I'm going to show that in the sessions how we need to increase and decrease that nodes, and improve user experience, maximize your capacity. Here if you see, if suppose you are using F2 or F4 capacity, so the data is coming in a huge volumes, let's say in petabytes, in zettabytes, then you can increase your capacity, and you can set up some automated alerts. You can set up, suppose this, let's say there is a capacity, that capacity storage is 100 GB. You can set a alerts in the Fabric admin monitoring alerts. When this 100 GB storage will threshold reach to 80%, immediately you will get alert. Once if you get the alert, then go why this 80 GB consume is reached. You can go through lake house, your warehouse, and everything reports. You can check, is this required, is this required, those are workloads not required, you can delete that. You can delete that workloads. So moving on to the further slide. So now let's see monitor and analytic solutions. Monitor analytic solutions. Here, if you see, you have a lot of workloads in Microsoft Fabric. So if you see, the first one is data pipelines. By using the data pipelines, so you can build a data pipeline. Why this data pipeline will be helpful? You can bring data from one place to another place. So this is how data pipelines. So followed by data flows. So we have two type of data flows: data flow 1, data flow 2. So you can use the data flow. Data flows, as mentioned by Rajendra in this today's first session, it's like your online Power Query editor. Those who are familiar with Power BI desktop Power Query editor, it's the same user face, data flow gen 2. And anyhow, data flow gen 1, maybe Microsoft announced in next to 2026 they are going to retire that data flow gen 1 feature. And while doing, then semantic model refreshes, then Spark jobs. Spark jobs is very, very important, because if you want to process massive amount of data, the one and only language you can use Spark. With SQL also it's not possible, because Spark, the name itself saying is it's like it will execute like Spark. So in same way, notebooks, in the notebooks you can write the queries by using a lot of languages: Python, PySpark, R, and I think some languages also is there. And lakehouse is a device, lakehouse is a component where you can store your all data. It's like a let me tell you, let me compare with Azure, like your Azure blob storage. You can dump anything. If you want storage, you can store photos. If you want store videos, you can store everything. You can store. It will support three type of storage: structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. These are the three types Lakehouse will support. And event stream. Event stream is nothing but it will process the real-time data. Real-time data means, let's say, stock market. If you see, we have a stock market. That stock market stocks price, it will increase and decrease every now and then, every fraction of seconds. How you can process the stock markets data? By using the event streams and real-time intelligence. So this is all about you need to monitor carefully all these tools, all these workloads. Moving on to the further slide. So monitoring best practices, how we can do the best practices. So if you want to do best practices, so identify what to monitor. First, you would have a clear plan what you need to monitor, and collect and review the data. Collect and review the data. Then if there is any issue, you can resolve the session. Go and debug the issue, and where it happened, what happened, who did that. You can resolve the issue, and later you can optimize the performance also. Later you can optimize the performance. So now what I'll do, let me show you the one of the snapshot. Here if you see, the Fabric monitoring hub will look like this. Here if you see, it is a snapshot from the Microsoft Fabric environment. See, there is a activity name Purview hub, and succeeded semantic model start time end date, and there is a some semantic model refresh, succeeded data pipeline, this one system administrator. Like this, you can, here you can see activity status, start date and end time, duration, how much time it took, and activity statistics. Activity, so the what is the activity statistics? Anyhow, I'm going to show this in the demo. So this is, let's move to the further slide. Okay, so now what I'll do, let me stop share my screen, let me share my screen. uh, just a minute, let me go to my demo. Yeah, so here, now here if you all see, actually there is a app, there is a app called Fabric Capacity Metric Apps. if you are familiar with Power BI desktop, once if you done the report, your client may ask to ask to share the app, the same app. You will get this from your apps. Here there is a app, so from this you will get that app. Let me click on this. Here if I click, for example, so see, already that app is installed. How you get this app? Get from markets, click on this get apps, click on this get apps. Now here if you see, team, are you all able to see my screen, and are you all listening me? Can someone confirm?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, Supernova.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, thank you. Because I got some notification, that's why. Okay, so from here you can get that app. So here if you see the apps are there here. So this is something apps. Here you can search and you can install that app. So once if you install that app, this app is completed. And where you need to find that report, already Microsoft Fabric itself, they are creating and they are building this report. So once if I click on this report, this will open. It's already open. So this is how you need to monitor your Fabric workloads. Here if you see, and keep in mind that you will have a restriction if you don't have admin access. Those top so team lead, data architect, those only have this access, because developers and the team members will don't have access to this app, because this is my own tenant. In this, actually I am the admin of this tenant, that's why I am able to access this. But usually in real time you will not have access for this, but I am showing this. If you want, you can take screenshots for your study purpose. So here let me go to first this health preview. Let me go to first this health preview. Here if you see, so this is actually I have one capacity only. Here if you see, the capacity is trial capacity. So what is the SKU name? FT1. So this is active, and from which location? Central India. So average utilization 0.15. Fine. Here we don't have a lot of details. So let's go to the compute. If I go to the compute page, here if you see, first let me see CUs. Once if I click CUs, now it's filtering. So here my trial capacity is selected. So here if you see, so activities, actually this is a ribbon chart. So activator data set, let me put it on focus mode. Let me check is the focus mode is there. Let me put spotlight. So here if you see, activator data set, lake house, pipeline and warehouse. So according to this you can see, let's say this which date what happened. So which date what happened in this. Let me exit focus spotlight. So this is CUs and durations. In terms of duration, you can see which activity run on how many duration. And here if you see utilization, throttling and overages. So operations also. Here if you see, click on operations. So now here if you see in the bottom, see this is items for the last 14 days. So here if you see, there is a workspace called reactor workspace. There is a workspace called reactor workspace. It is loading some tooltip also. Fine. Here if you see 50,749 CUs consumed. So the duration is seconds. This is the seconds. How many users? 2 users. So it is billable. So if I on hour, let's just, it's showing something, event listener and rule uptime per hour. So it is showing, it is splitting into the operation name. See, so being a data architect, being a fabric admin, what I'm going to do, I will check who is working that, who is using that reactor practice. I will question you. So what are you doing? This many she is consuming. I want to optimize. Like this, we need to take the decision depending upon this. So this is how you need to take this. So here if you see how much duration, how much CUs are completed. Here if you see, I was able to see all the users and all the workspace details. This is all about compute. And if I go to the storage, here, if you see how many total workspaces currently under this capacity, total 14 workspaces. What is the current storage in terms of GB? 4.92. Billable storage 4.88. Okay, fine. Now let's see what are the top 5 workspaces by billable storage. What are the top 5 workspaces by billable storage? If you see the same thing, Fabric Learn. So it is consuming 2.29. It's how much? 46.99%. In this, followed by this workspaces, followed by this workspaces. Is the workspace is status, deletion status active, and by default it will show top 5 workspaces. Please adjust the top n. So where is top n value? I think, let me see all. Okay, storage type. I think they mentioned top end, but they are not giving this top end. Okay, fine, that's fine. So now here, if you see storage by date, here you can monitor the by date. Here cumulative billable storage, it's a cumulative. Suppose 0.25, 0.41, it will be 0.57, like it will be cumulative storage. Now let's go to the auto scale. Here, if I go to the auto scale, so here is, as because this is a trial capacity, here there is no auto scale Spark jobs, so that's why it is showing everything as a empty. Now let's go to the item history. Here if I go to the item history, here if you see CUs by workspace, which workspace is consuming more CUs? CUs by item. See here, if you see my activator is consuming more CUs. Power BI activator is consuming third place. So items by scheduled frequency. So which day? If I see the peak day is 28th November, 28th November. So if you want to see status trend, let me click on this status trend. Once if I click on this, it is showing the status trend. So billing breakdown status, if you see percentage of breakdown status, it's almost 0, 0. It's almost 0. So almost 99.93% is success rate. There is no breakdown. Almost 0.001% is the breakdown. So here if you see smoothed CUs, lot of things are there. This and all, even though if you are not using in the real time, but this exam point of view, they will ask how you need, how you can find, the top workspace utilization by CU. They will ask some kind of questions. Here if you see CUs by date, duration, lot of options are there. And if I come to this, here if you see workspace details, so pass rate, views, computation rate, and here item details. What are the items? How much computation rate? What is the status? Success, stopped. See here, there is a notebook. So whenever I don't want to use notebook, I stopped it. So this is lakehouse. This is stopped. This is ELE notebook. This is stopped. And this is pipeline. There is a pipeline called Bing News Ingestion Pipeline. It's failure. This is how you need to monitor everything. Now, this is all about fabric capacity metric app. Now, if I go to the content sharing, so here, if you see this content sharing, so here, how many items are there total? 933 under my this account. If you see, this is my account. In this my account, I have total 930. Total domains, I have not never defined this domains. And total capacity is 9. Fine. And how many total workspace? 113. See here, if I click, see, I think this is 113 workspaces. So here if you see capacity, total items by workspace. So the maximum items by workspace is this one, PySpark practice workspace. Here we have 88, followed by SUPARNA workspace 78, Fabric Learn 52, and Analytic workspace 51. So total items by domain, because here domains is 0. That's why it is showing blank. And so here I didn't use any endorsement or any sensitivity. Total items by event type. How many semantic models are there? 247. How many reports are there? So this is where your fabric admin, your data architect will monitor everything. Don't think that I am doing this, everyone is not looking. There is a eye. If you are watching Big Boss, they will tell you the Big Boss is watching. Like that, who is Big Boss in this case? The Big Boss is your fabric admin and your data architect. Like this, if I go to the analysis here, let me click on this analysis. Hmm. So it's loading. So here if you see, so this is a chart. Okay, let me ask you. So what is this chart? Can you all uh, ping in the chat box? I want to see. What is this chart? No one knows? Okay, bar. No, No, Ravi.
Asian tree.
Decomposition tree.
Decomposition.
It's a decomposition tree. This decomposition tree will be used for breakdown analysis. This is for not data analysis. I'm telling you Power BI developer point of view. So it's a very important. Which chart you will use for breakdown analysis? Straightforward, you can tell decomposition tree. So why? Because let me show you. Total items 933. Now it is breaking item wise semantic mode. Let's say I want to see lake house, how many breakdown. So here if I click, let me click on this. Let me select high level. So here if I select blank, everything was there is no blank. So in this, let me select high value. So here it is also going blank because in domain there is nothing. So let me close this. Let me go with another item. Let me go with this one. Let me select capacity ID. So these many capacities. Now let's say I want to see is deleted. Yes, false. In this false, let me select here. So here, yes, one item is deleted and 31 items are not deleted. Like this, you can select this. You can you can go through this. And here if you see users access count, this many users are working. Groups. If you have any groups, you can check your groups also. Now let's go to the workspace. Here, if you see in the workspace, so here workspace also you can see most shared by item, total items, this so deleted items, this and all you can see, and here you can choose as per your capacity. Here you can select as per your workspace. So this is not done by any Power BI developer. Microsoft people will done by themselves. You will get readily this report. Next, if I go to the details, so here you will get a detailed table wise analysis. See, they mentioned workspace link also. So you will get here detailed analysis. Now this is all about this content sharing. Now let me go to the feature usage. Now here if you see, this is a feature usage and adoption report. Here if you see total activities, active users and active capacities and active workspaces. Then let me go to the inventory page. So if I click inventory page, so here if you see the same thing, active, total, active and inactive. So being a Power BI Fabric admin, I will focus on this. I will go through this. What is this 772 inactive items? Why there is inactive? So I will go and I will check that inactive items. Then I will ask to, is it really required? If it is required, I'll keep. If it is not required, then I will delete and I will cut short my cost. I will save the cost. So this is about this feature usage and adoption report. Now let me go to the preview hub. Here if you see, actually I have not implemented any sensitivity labels and anything domains and all. That's why let me put it to width. Now if I go to the sensitivity labels, here you can see all these things. So because here I haven't used any labels, that's why it is showing everything. So data loss prevention. So here if I click, what is the data loss? Because everything is empty, nothing is, I'm using a preview policy here. So what is the apps Cosmos DBC items? So here if you see the access endorsement, you can in the real time you will get everything here. So here also they mentioned some this decomposition tree. So which workspace subdomain and item type. So lot of options are there. So this is all about, and here you can find, see here now I can find all the details. What is the item? Who is the item type? Who is the user? See, from here I can get the all user details. What he or she is doing. Like this, I can break down the by using the user type. Here if you see user type, I have this filter. Is it external user? Is it internal user? Like this, here you have these options. Okay, demo is completed. Now let me go and let me share, just a minute, let me share my screen one more time. So now demo is completed. Now let's back to the our PPT. So here if you see, now here demo is completed. Now moving on to the further slide. So the same thing, whatever I shown in your demo, the same thing here. In PPT I mentioned as a screenshot. You can take this screenshot for your reference. And this is the admin monitoring. Already we saw this in the demo. Next, optimize and analytic solutions. How you need to, why optimization is important. So here if you see, as I mentioned in my lemon example, you need to optimize. If you don't optimize, the cost will go more and more increase. The cost will increase more and more. So here if you see, you need to focus the main areas is lake house, data warehouse, and compute engine. Your compute engine Spark. How much duration the Spark cluster is running, and processing in event streams and pipelines. And Fabric connects everything through one lake. So you need to keep a eye on your one lake also. You need to keep a eye on your one lake also. You need to focus. The main focus areas are all these things. So moving on to the further slide. So storage and optimization. So here you can do the storage optimization. First, lake house tables. If you see, you need to use delta lake optimization. So what it will happen, it will optimize the command and it will a Z ordering cluster for faster queries. Now, sorry, implementation of partitioning and here, sorry, and caching. Let me tell you what is this partitioning and caching. So let's say I have a data for the 15 years of data because we are on the 2025. Let me take the data from 2011 to 2025. So if I have the data, I have millions of records. So if I want to query, let's say 2012 particular day sale, if I fire the query in SQL, it will go through all the 15 years of data and it will take more time and it will take more CUs. So to avoid that, I will go with the partitioning and I will partitioning by year and I will query with only respective year. So that's why your partition and catching is very, very important. Not only your exam point of view also, it will be very, very helpful in your real time also. Then while coming to the data warehouse, you can analyze and adjustable storage formats. You can analyze according to the requirement, you can choose your storage format and you can use so column store indexes for your efficient analytic queries. And if you see this distribution keys and partition strategies for balance performance across the nodes. So in Spark, if you are working in real time with the PySpark language, you heard about this worker node, data node and all. You need to use this worker node and data node. So this is all about storage optimization. So moving on to the further slide. So compute and processing optimization. Here if you see how you can use this. So first I'll start with pipeline. So the pipelines, if I ask any data engineer in sleep also what you are doing in your role, they will tell I am building pipelines. They will tell I am building pipelines. Why they are building pipelines? They are a real warriors. If you ask me, let me tell you in terms of this data driven roles, data analyst, data engineer, data scientist, I will tell you data engineer is a real warrior and front warrior. Why? Because those are the front persons. They are collecting data from their clients and cleaning, building pipelines and everything. They are ready-madely providing data to data analyst and data scientist for building descriptive dashboards and as well for predicting futures. So here if you see, optimize the data movement by limiting unnecessary transformations and leveraging the parallelism. Okay, you can use you need to avoid unnecessary transformations and you need to use parallel type of monitorings and you need to use incremental load instead of full loads. This is already, as I mentioned, that 15 years example. So I have 15 years of data, for example. So let's say I can tell you, I'll take example as a Amazon. Amazon have the 15 years of data. So if Amazon people want to query the data, they will go maximum last 2 years, last 3 years, last 4 years, because 2020 data will not be changed because I'm a user. If I purchased anything, nothing was going to change. Why? Because 2020 is already gone. Just make sure that if there is any, so am I going to return year 22 to 2020 product now? No, not possible because that is already completed. That's why you can archive the data and you can use incremental load. You can use incremental load. Now here, if you see, then configure the pipeline triggers efficiently. Now here I'll tell you one example. So You are working as a employees and you are taking salaries how many days of a year? 12 days. How many days of a year? 12 days. Every month and or every month first you will get the salary. So here if you see, that is called as a scheduled time. So every company will have their own rules. They will some companies will give you month and last working day, some companies will give first of the month or a last working day of the month, like that. So that's called scheduled based. Scheduled time they are giving salary to you. In the same way you will have a schedule based trigger. This is nothing but you can schedule it. Let's say for example, my client I'm getting data every month 5th. So what I will do, I can schedule my pipeline run on 6th. I can use a schedule trigger, and that's fine. Then what is this event based triggers? Event based triggers is let's say in 1 month I got data from my client 5th, in another month I got 7th, in another month I got 11th, and in another month let's say I got 3rd. What is this inconsistency? To avoid that inconsistency, what we will do, there is a beautiful concept called in triggers, event based triggers. It's like a event. So today the data loaded in my database, immediately it will trigger. I'll tell you one layman term example. You would have seen CC cameras in everywhere. You would have seen CC cameras in everywhere. CC cameras, there are lot of types of there. I'll talk about motion sensor camera. What does it mean? Let's say I'm in my room, it's my corner, there is a camera. So whenever there is a movement capture in front of that camera, then only it will capture that footage, it will store in the. So that technician will set a duration. So if there is movement for there is no movement for 5 minutes, it will automatically stop. Like this event based trigger also, there is a movement in your database, then it will trigger automatically. Like it will be helpful for your real time scenarios also. Then real time data event stream and event warehouse. Here if you see, reduce data volume, real time filtering and transformations, and use apply filters aggregations. So you can use window functions for grouping streaming data efficiently. And Spark, as I mentioned earlier, Spark is a very beautiful language. You can use for auto scaling, cost control, tuning the partition sizes, catching, and broadcast join. Here if you see, it is very important. So the broadcast join is nothing but a, let's say, how in the backside this Spark will work. You will have a job node, worker node, this and also what there is a this much of data 1 GB, it will split it into the 10 systems, 100 MB, 100 MB, 100 MB, like that. Then if you want join one with another, then it will take more time. That's why they again that 100 MB will catch it and split it into a files. Then if you want to do a join, you can join that file with that this file, it will be joined very fastly. That's why this call it as a broadcast join, and this is very important for especially data engineers in the interview point of view also. Fine. Moving on to the further slide. Now let's see SQL query optimization. So you can use materialized views and indexing and query hints. If you want to retrieve the data very fast, you can use the index concept, and you can reduce joins, push down the filters to the streamline queries. You can reduce, try to reduce the joins. I'll tell you one of the real time use case. One of my friend is telling that in his project, their data engineers used a lot of joins. That's why what happening, whenever he is scheduling the refresh in Power BI, it is taking 1 hour and consumed. You don't believe consumed how much volume of data consumed for single refresh in Power BI? 200 GB. That's where my that what my friend's data architect come into the picture. What happened? Like that they debugged and they instructed to data engineer optimize the query. That's how this query optimization will matter. Then monitor your query plans. You can use some monitor query plans, execution, gaining insightful for further optimization. Moving on to the further slide. Now let's talk about security and compliance monitoring. Here if you see everywhere. So first of all, if you want to access any Microsoft Fabric account, you should have a one valid organizational email ID. Let's say if I talk about Infosys, let's say kumar@infosys.com, or else Rajendra at dag.com, Seshi at dag.com. You can use like that. You should have first email ID. By using this Microsoft Entra ID, you will get the credentials, then you can use browse and client applications and web front end. Here if you see back end capacity platform and metadata platform, it will have a lot of security features. You can use some encryption reset, some role based access controls also. Moving on to the further slide. Now here if you see data security in Fabric, here if you see Fabric integration, it operates within your Microsoft Fabric Entra tenant, ensuring logic data isolation. So you should have used you Microsoft Entra ID. It will have end-to-end encrypted your one layer keys and data transist, which is Fabric encrypted in TLS technology, secure communication, and as I mentioned earlier, role based access control. You will have a in workspace, usually you will have four type of roles: admin, member, contributor, and viewer. Depending upon the requirement, you can grant the access to your developers. Moving on to the further slide. So data compliance in Fabric, here if you see regional data usage. So if your data is in central India, so you can choose your central India as a home region, and you can choose other regions as a remote region. And if you want to store your data in a multi geo tenants like that, your data should be, because let's say, let me tell you one example. Now I am in India, okay. Let's say for example I am in Chennai, because Chennai already floods happening. So if the my data center is flooded with these floods, so every server was down. Let's say if I want to access data, what I will do? You need to go for next data center where which is located. It's in the Mumbai. So let's say for example Mumbai also, because India is completely one region. So Mumbai data center is also flooded. Then what you will do? You can go with Singapore region, or you can go with US UK region. So you can store your data in the multi tenants region also. Now metadata processing. So you can use your tenants from tenants homepage. You can process the metadata and compliance certifications. You can use this GDPR, this and all, and auditor and monitoring. So this is very important. Why this auditor and monitoring? You need to audit and monitoring every service and private endpoints. You can use some private endpoints also. Now moving on to the this one, see here if you see activity logs and audit logs. So this is very important. Why? Because activity logs and this audit logs are, so here if you ask me, so if there is a issue, how you need to debug? So you need to go to the logs and you need to do everything. So you need to go where it is happened. Anyhow, now in demo, I'm going to show that Fabric monitoring. So data access monitoring and alerts and notifications. You can send email alerts, Teams notifications. You can integrate the monitoring rules. So we have a beautiful workload in Fabric. So activator, by using the activator, you can uh, integrate that activator with your monitoring tools, and you can get the notifications and compliance reports. So these are all very important steps for monitoring and security compliance. So now let me go to my workspace again. So just a minute. Let me show that. Now let me go here first. Uh, if you are able to see my screen, this is one of the project I worked POC. So this is one of the project. There is a project called Senapcom Shopping Mart Analytics Workspace. Here I have this many workspaces. Here I implemented a Medallion architecture. So here data ingestion, branch data, this is I implemented. Now, so here let me see how many notebooks I used. Let me go to this filter. Let me select type. Let me select type. I'll clear. So I used two notebooks. I used two notebooks. One is for bronze data and another one is for silver data. So let me show you how I need to increase the worker node and this node job node. If I click on this workspace settings, here if you see, here you will find all the settings: license info, Azure connection, system storage, Git integration. You will have a lot of options. Here if you see Power BI options, delegated settings, click on this data engineering and data science. Here if you click on the Spark settings, so here if you see pool, it is a started pool. Currently how many nodes? It will use according to the how we fire the query. It will use 1 to 10 number of nodes. This is a starter pool. If you want to create, you can create new pool. Let's say I want to edit this only. So let me click on this. If I click on this, see it's already disabled. It's a start default pool. If I want to increase, So I can increase maximum, it is 16. So if I was to increase executors, this is the executor node. So it's already went to 15. Like this, you can increase and decrease this nodes. Or else if you want to create a your custom pool, select this new pool. Let me give you DAC pool. Okay. So now let me select this. See, now in custom pool, we have a limit till 32 nodes. So it will have a 32 nodes, and so here there is a option, please focus enable auto scaling. Depending upon the query we are running in the notebooks environment, it will auto scale and it will auto adjust your nodes. It will auto adjust your nodes. Let me create. So if I create, now it is created. See, this is DAG pool is created. So this is how you need to check. Let me click on save. Saving your Spark settings. Saving your Spark settings. Now let me go to the monitoring. So this is where you need to go and monitor. If I click on this monitoring, now here if you see, so this is where you need to track everything. This monitor, I think it will be enabled for those who are having the workspace access contributor and greater than contributor. You will have this access from here. If you go, see there is a pipeline, it is failed. When it was pipeline failed 3011, today only it is failed. Then this all four succeeded, this one. Next, big news ingestion failed. See here, if you see, let's say if I want to add more columns, here go, see lot of columns are there. Let's say I want to see the duration and apply. If I click apply, see 32 seconds. And for this semantic model refresh, how much time it took? 11 minutes 22 seconds. If you want to add more columns, let's say I want to see the what is the refresh type and how many refreshes per day. Let me take let's say let me take capacity and job type also. Click apply. So if I click apply here, so now let me scroll to right side. Here if I scroll down, says duration, capacity ID, job type, it's a execution. See, it's a refresh and it's a execution. Refresh type not applicable because for executing the pipeline, refresh is not required. For scheduling, refreshing the semantic model, this is the scheduled refresh. And here if you see, this is on demand refresh. Let's see what is this item. It's a telecom project. It's a on demand. It means that I refreshed for my client requirement. Refreshes per day, one refresh per day. Like this, you can scroll down, you can add many details. If you want to filter, let's say I don't want to see all this, just I want to see only succeeded. Select this, you can able to see the succeeded workloads. If you want to see the, let's say, failed, you can see failed workloads. In the same way, item type, if you want to see the, no, I want to see only, let's say for example, notebooks. Let me select notebooks. If I select notebooks, here you can able to see only notebooks type of this sessions. So like this, you can start time, you can filter it by last 24 hours, last 7 hours, and last 30 days are submitted by who is, it's me or something, its location, which workspace. Let me take one, let me take BigQuery monitoring workspace. So in this, nothing is there. So let me take some automated workspace, nothing is there. From location also, let me take something telecom project, this is this one. So here if you see semantic model, and I have three workspaces: semantic model, activity name, some shopping mart, gold order, semantic models only. Like this, you can filter as per your requirement. This is where very important. Okay, so thank you all. So I am done with my session. Shashi, any questions in the chat box?
No, sir.
Yeah, Suparna Babu, thank you. There is some question from Basha. 1 second, let me. Yeah,
Yeah,
Basha, you can unmute
thank you.
yourself.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So to get this monitoring right, so what could be the minimum capacity that I would like to know? So by default, I think everyone, if I go to trial account, right, generally, so we
Hmm,
cannot see the monitoring tab like that
hmm,
as
hmm,
from
hmm,
the admin
hmm,
perspective. So I
hmm.
would like to know what is the minimum capacity. That is the
You
first
can,
one.
you minimum is F2.
You have to, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You will
I
get in
understand.
every capacity.
Acha, okay, okay, thank you. And the second question is, so there is a trial account, right? It will be expiring in 10 days or 5 days. So we
Mm.
have done a lot of reports, semantic models and everything. So is it there is a way to recover it or no?
See, if it is expired, it means that done and dusted. You can't recover that. Before expiring, you need to upgrade your license.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
Any other questions? Please post it, or you can also unmute yourself. You can speak. Like you can raise your hand digitally so that I can give an access to you.
See, you don't have any questions. I know this is a something admin kind of settings. Everyone will don't have access. I know Rajendra is a fabric admin. He knows everything about all this.
One question, Babu, they're asking about could you give some examples about fabric component level optimization?
Component level optimization.
Optimization.
Component level means okay, that's what if you are running a pipeline, for example, in running a pipeline, you will have lot of let's say copy job activity. I'll take copy job activity. So instead of if you are using a multiple copy job activity, inside the copy job activity, you can use for each and you can do dynamic by using the single copy job activity. You can run. In that case, you can decrease, let's say, instead of multiple copy job activities, you can use one copy job activity to pull data from some other database into your fabric.
And also, can we add a V order optimization also, right? V
Yes.
order. Any other questions? Question from Basha. He's saying, what is the minimum capacity for this prepared real-time Power BI dashboards to publish? Integrate into blocks, please. Basha, you
Min,
have an access to unmute yourself. You can also speak and ask
minimum
your question.
capacity means that's what
Question is little.
this real-time Power BI dashboard to publish integrate. You should have your valid trial account, or else you should have your premium account also. F2, it will start with F2, it will go up to F512. By using this, integrate in the blocks means which blocks are you talking about? Like in public domain blog
So
or private
yeah,
domain blogs?
public domain like Blogger, Google product. So one of the examples.
I can tell you now. I got your see in Google domain means are you talking about web application, correct?
Yes, super correct.
See, now I'll tell you. Actually, one of my friend is working on the similar kind of project. Once if you completed not only real-time Power BI dashboard, normal Power BI dashboards also, you should have a minimum first developer will have pro license. Point number one. Then the workspace should be must be assigned to a workspace, a premium workspace or fabric capacity workspace. Pro capacity workspace will not have a power to generate embedded URL links. Okay, you need to generate embedded URL links. Two things you keep in mind that first your developer should have pro license and your workspace is assigned to premium capacity or fabric capacity. Then only you can able to generate embedded links and you can share the embedded links with your web app developer. They can integrate in their third party application.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Suparna Babu, sir.
Hey, Shashi,
One more
hi, thank
question.
you.
One more question from Mark. Thanks for this session. Generic question only. Being a Power BI developer, any suggestion on how to become expert in Fabric, guided learning, and what skills require? Your views, Supernababu.
Yeah,
Your
see,
views on
being a
it.
power, if you are being a Power BI developer, Mark, I would believe you know SQL Power BI. So you need to start your Python and PySpark and big data. Once if you completed all this, big data means that's no need to learn. You need to focus on two skills, Python and PySpark. Once if it is completed, already Microsoft will have their own YouTube channel called Reactor. In that, there will be a lot of sessions already which takes by lot of MBs. If I take example, Rajendra also took lot of Microsoft Reactor sessions. In fact, if you ask me the same question, I'll tell you I learned a lot from Rajendra's Reactor sessions and I followed him. So the one and only session which is going to present practical in the reactor sessions is by Rajendra. You can focus on these things, and we will have a Microsoft Fabric links also. Let me share you that links. Just a minute. I have that Fabric exercise links. You will get all of the links. Um, hmm. Let me share you the links. You can go through these links. Here they will give you a detailed steps with screenshots, data sets. You can complete all these labs. Once if you complete, then you will be the master in the Fabric.
I will just try to add a few more, Babu. So guided learning, already Suparna Babu he shared along with the examples. You can get that links. Okay, you can also practice yourself and try to actively participate on these forums. Okay, so that the expertise, right? They can share your view, their views, and you can get more clarity about what you are working on and Microsoft Fabric. And there is also a challenge is going on. So maybe if you are interested from Microsoft only, so you can also participate in this challenge like a step-by-step guide. Okay, so I hope it helps you to like maybe to upskill or to make work on this Microsoft Fabric environment. Hope it helps.
And there is one more question.
Yeah.
Is there any session?
For
Session
Pi
means
Spark, is there
Suvarnamala,
any
which session
session
are you
you'd like
talking
to?
about?
One
If
second,
you
let
want
me
to
unmute
learn,
her.
you can go to some open source YouTube videos, or if you want to you take Udemy, you can go to Udemy courses also.
I just unmuted Swarnmala. You can speak with the speaker.
Oh, just a minute.
Yes, please ask. If it is answered, that's fine. Okay, no problem. Any other?
Yeah, I shared my LinkedIn handle in the chat box. If anyone having any doubts, you can always reach out to me LinkedIn. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, just try to post to Supernova with the meetup we posted. That's fine. If you have any queries or guidance related to this Microsoft Fabric, so you have Supernova Babu here, so you can follow him and you can get connect with him as well, so that he can help you. Okay, as a part of the direction, right directions towards Microsoft Fabric, or maybe you're still learning the Power BI course. You can. It's helpful to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Subhan Babu, for giving your valuable sessions for today on Microsoft Fabric. I mean, as a part of DP 700 series. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you, Rajendra, Seshi, and thank you entire data analytics group team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Superuser, for your insightful session. And let's welcome our third speaker of the day and the last session of this DP 700 series, who is Anusha Gudapati and manager at Life Insurance and PL 300, DP 600, and DP 700 Microsoft Certified Associate. And on the topic, prepare for exam day and open Q&A. And the session is live, and you are on live, ma'am.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. So, quickly sharing my screen and we'll start the session. Let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. So, first of all, great job making it till here. Fabric is huge and DP 700 is kind of not easy, and most people drop off in the first module. So, if you're here today on a Sunday afternoon, then I say you're almost 80 to 90% ahead of the current crowd. So today's session is completely focused on exam readiness. So this is that session where we talk about real things. Okay, so what to expect in the exam, what traps Microsoft sets, how to prepare smartly, and how to avoid silly mistakes. So here is the sessions that we had taken since Friday were like the 4 sessions, and today, I mean, this session is about the fourth one. That is, you're prepared for exam day and also for Q&A. So the first thing is the topics that we are going to cover today are why do we need the certification, how to prepare for it, understanding the exam format, uh, practice questions, case studies, and the tips and tricks for exam day. So obviously, the first question, why do we need certification? Why get certified? Well, before we dive into the strategy, let's talk about why DP700 matters. Microsoft certifications aren't just badges anymore, you see. Companies are literally searching for people with Fabric data engineering skills. So Fabric is like the fastest Microsoft product adoption in terms of data ever after Power BI. So people who clear DP700, they often say this, that they become more confident in handling Fabric projects. They get more visibility inside their team, and also their managers trust them with bigger tasks. So, and yes, let's be honest, it helps in your salary and also in promotions, because most of the time in our uh, what do you say, our goals for this year would be mostly one particular line item will be what learnings you are going to learn, what your learnings you're going to do this year. So this Microsoft certifications play a very important role in keeping you ahead of your of your peers or your team members. So, what does the statistics say? The statistics tells us that 35% said getting certified led to salary increase. 26% of the guys have reported that they have got promotions after they have got certified, and around 36% of them helped in performing complex tasks more easily. With 35% were like more influential during cloud deployments. But yes, more on when you keep the salary hikes versus the job offers on a side, I think the certification is mostly you getting confidence on the things you have learned, right? And also certification gives us an approach for setting the base. See, basically if it's just a simple DP700, I mean, just to learn Microsoft Fabric, it's so huge that you do not know where to start exactly, right? Like there is the components are too many. You have real time data warehouse, lake house, and so many new objects that have come up. So a certification is definitely a guided journey for you to actually learn this Microsoft Fabric technology. So it helps you in it clearly states you what are the basics that you need to know first, and how you have to approach each and every topic. So I personally feel that when I was attempting the exam, for me it was not about the aftermaths of like with the certification I can do something more, but it was about certification helped me in learning Microsoft Fabric in totality. So that's my personal take, guys. Yeah, but as we move on to the second slide, we will be focusing on what is the exam pattern. So basically, the exam pattern has about 60 questions. So it's not exactly 60 questions all the time. It's more about probably around 50 to 60 questions. So what happens is that how Microsoft treats this is because sometimes you get some multiple choice questions. Sometimes you get multiple choice questions. So I mean, in the multiple choice questions, you will have multi-select options to be there. Correct. So if say suppose that question has two right answers and you tick box those two, then it will be two marks or 2 into 2, whatever the score is against for that particular question. And of course, it's a 100 minutes exam. You do have your build test, hot area. You have active screen. You can drag drop, and you also have one typical section which is very important. That is your case study. So case studies have a specific amount of time allocated, and you see that takes a lot of time to study, because the case studies are usually about 2 pages long, like say around 300 to 400 words, and there will be around typically 4 to 5 questions asked among these case studies. And I think to what my knowledge has been, that is the most scoring part of the entire certification, like where which has a lot of weightage in terms of per question per question mark. So I suggest you guys to completely spend some good amount of time and try to understand what the what the description is entirely about. Apart from that, the major advantage of this certification is that there is no negative marking. So that means even if you do not know the answer, you can just logically set what you could have and just ensure that you actually attempt each and every part of your each and every question in this exam. Moving on to the next slide, we will be understanding on how this exam is scored. So basically, the highest mark is 1000. That doesn't mean that you will have 1000 questions, of course. As I mentioned, each question has typical weightage associated with it, and also 700 is the passing mark for this exam. But then 700 doesn't also mean necessarily that it's 70% of the that you have crossed 70%. No, it again depends on the weightage. And and also with the tips and tricks, there are few questions that you have to be cautious about where you cannot go back and review. So some questions out of all these 52 to 53 questions cannot be revisited. So just ensure that you read the question properly, the subsection, and understand which among those are those which can which will not be applicable for review. So again, as mentioned in the slide, answer every question and mark questions for review. So there is no penalty for guessing and no negative marking. So now we move on to how do we actually prepare for the DP700 exam. Well, the first and easiest thing which you guys have already done is attend the study group sessions like the one that is being currently hosted. So I hope that you guys have taken complete advantage of the first 3 sessions that we have taken in this study group. And the second is of course to follow the Microsoft Learn documents, for which I am going to share you the link shortly. So this is the study group for DP700 that you find on the Learn website. And also guys, this is not just for DP700, any Microsoft certification you guys can come. And as you can see my screen, every exam has a study guide associated with it. And in this study guide, you have all the parts of the certification covered. Like for example, you have some useful links that are listed out here, like how you can earn the certification, how can you do renewal, what's the how you can actually uh, take the exam sandbox also, where you can have some sample questions associated, and you can typically have a mock test kind of an environment. You can also have you can also take practice assessments as well. But yeah, just remember that these practice assessments that happen, these do not typically there are around 50 questions that come up in a practice assessment, for which I will again be sharing you the link by the end of this session. So as you can see, this is one assessment that I have opened. So this has around 50 questions. So you, as a part of your preparation, attempting this at least 4 to 5 times will give you a lot of questions that you can you'll get an idea on what topics the exam is actually covering off, and focusing on those terms, or the what do you say, the typical words, for example data pipeline, or you would understand what is a monitoring hub here. So what the party tools are. So based on the questions, you can also identify the typical terminology and understand what it is. So if it's a monitoring hub, yeah, please go through monitoring hub and understand what it is, and then you will have a better attempt in answering your questions, right? So these are around typical 50 questions per session. But yeah, it doesn't these questions right away do not come directly in the exam. It's more like probably around, say, from what I have experienced in the 4 to 5 certifications I have given, is around, say, 8 to 10% is something that can be expected here. Yeah, but practice wise, it gives a huge difference for you. So moving back to the slide, you need to also you can also make use of the community resources. That is, you have Fabric community that is available. But yeah, you need to sign up for it first. So preferably, please sign up with your personal IDs, not your official IDs, because once you exit the organization, it's obvious that the ID can be expired. Now the same is for your Microsoft certifications also. Always ensure that it's your personal account, not your company account, because you are then going to lose out your certifications. Like you'll lose your touch with those certifications, because if you want to go to that website, get your certification re-downloaded, or want to attempt the exam for renewal, you cannot do that because your ID will be expired. So just keep that in mind. And the third part is obviously you completing the entire DP700 related Microsoft Learn module. So now this is a guided one. each learn module, you will be Microsoft has given us, very easy approachable guides, so it actually gives you the all the topics that are present. So when you go for prepare for exam here, you have several topics, and it also gives you the time that you need to, averagely spend on each topic, so you can plan your preparation for so many days. And Microsoft also helps you in giving some sandboxes, it is for your practical experience. So each and every step, for example, you are doing a data ingestion, so each and every step along with sample data is clearly provided by the in this learn document, I mean learn website. So for example, if I go to the ingest data with Microsoft Fabric, and click on continue. Yeah, so basically I think I have finished it before, so that's why it's skipping me. But yeah, this is something, because I'm already at the session 8. But yeah, you can go with unit 6. So there are around 8 units here, and after each and every module there is a module assessment, which is your exam. So, and for each module you also have something called launch exercise, where you will be able to have a small practical experience on your module learnings that you have taken up here. So um, so I would always suggest you, yeah, but for that there's one typical requirement that you need, that is your Fabric trial license. Without Fabric trial license, you cannot do most of the practical exercises that have been provided here. So that's just keep that in mind and try to get that trial license, however may be possible, because trial license is very much required for your complete DP 700 preparation. Moving back to the next slide. Yeah, as I mentioned just before this, that you have a DP 700 practice assessment that is available, which I will be sharing the link shortly. And of course, along with just not the Microsoft Learn document, you also have several mock tests that are available in, say, Udemy, or in some private websites also. Those are really, some are mostly free and some have a slight cost. But yeah, depends on your choice and how you want to take it up. So there is one more advantage that DP700 gives, that is in the during the exam itself, you can use the Microsoft Learn website to actually, get some help, most like an open book exam, you can say. But yeah, it's not, I tried to do this once, but it took a lot of time in loading the page also. And I'll tell you what, do not think that you will be able to catch the answers easily, but this is like my experience, because searching for the right answer in that learn document, of course, because you will not be getting the answer directly, right? Like this is the question and this is the answer. No, you'll have to logically go through that document and try to relate the answer for this question. So it takes a bit of time. So, and also it's like you need to have that confidence that you will be able to, where to search and what to search for. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I try to explore that during the exam, but it got stuck once or twice. So then I thought like I was not trading in the right water, so I have not used it so far again. So moving on to the next slide, let's see what the let's go to some of the sample questions that usually come up in the Fabric. So this is like an open to all if you want to put your answers in the chat. So let me walk you through some sample questions here. So here you have your organization uses Microsoft Fabric deployment pipelines with stages, that is development, test, and production. You need to configure the production stage to connect to the production database. The solution must minimize administration effort. So what should you do? Um, pres- uh, so do we have the chats readily open here, guys? So if you guys wanna take a moment in answering this question, you're very much welcome. Yeah. So keep posting on while we also go through and explore the answer as well. So the answer for this would be the deployment pipeline rule for production. So what does a deployment pipeline typically say? For whatever objects or say semantic models or Power BI reports you want to move to production, you should usually do it with a deployment pipeline where you set the environmental variables. So you have typical environmental variables for your development, test, and your production. For example, now this could be like for a semantic model, this could be like where is the like what is the data warehouse of my test, what is the link of my data warehouse which for my UAT semantic model versus my development semantic model, and what is my production warehouse for my production semantic model. So this is where your deployment rule makes a, I mean, it's a very important functionality here. Moving on to question number 2. So here, a company uses Microsoft Fabric to orchestrate data processing workflows with tasks dependent on previous task completion. So you need to implement an orchestration pattern ensuring tasks execute in sequence based on dependencies. So basically, this is your sequence, like you want to have one step dependent on the previous step, right? So the answer for this would be obviously a pipeline with dependencies. So you have a pipeline created where you have different objects, like different, imagine different tasks to be done, and then you have a single line that connects your each of your tasks to one another, so making it dependent on each other. So moving on to the third question. Your organization uses Microsoft Fabric for data engineering tasks. So recently, there have been issues with data pipelines where data pipelines runs failing intermittently, causing delays in data processing. So you need to monitor data pipelines runs to identify the root cause of failures. Now, if you guys have actually been in the session 3 that Suparna has taken just before my session, the answer is using monitoring hub to analyze pipeline run details. So in this monitoring hub, you have every activity of fabric, I mean, whatever is being done in the environment is being is being what do you say, is saved in this monitoring hub. So that is the answer for this. And I think your last session is very useful for answering this question. So, and typically in terms of, as what do you say, a context based case studies usually come up where they give you a lot of information in terms of, explaining on that there is a company, there's an organization with so and so team members. One works on, say, analytics, one works on creating Power BI reports, one works on data engineering, and these questions 70 to 80% of the time mostly deals with what kind of accesses have to be provided for what teams. So for that, here in this slide, I've mentioned some typical important topic that you will have to go through. That is, for example, for a lake house access, you have three options as permissions, right? So you have read all SQL endpoint data, you have read all Apache Spark and subscribe to events, and you have something called build reports on the default semantic model. While of course default semantic model is no longer there, but yeah, with semantic model. So with this you understand that maybe for just a Power BI report, he doesn't need to read all the Apache Spark, right? For him, reading the SQL endpoint data and given an access to build the semantic, build reports would be enough. So that is one typical answer. And suppose there is a analytics team that works on, that works on the Spice Park. For that kind of people, this second option is required, right? So always, put your focus more in terms of understanding what kind of accesses to be provided to what kind of people. Moving on to the third slide, the third session, that is tips and tricks for exam day. So in this slide, we are covering on how the exam pattern happens. So typically now there are two ways that you can take this exam. One, that you go to the, like you actually register and you go to that particular branch and take the exam, where the only thing that you will have to carry would be your ID proof. And the second, which I have taken, is something that you can take the exam at your house itself. So this has a bit of more procedure, because see, the environment is not the entire environment has to be inspected, right? So there will be a proctor who will be monitoring the complete examination. So your video will be turned on for the entire time. And there's also a small chat window that is always live, so that if your screen is stuck, or your video is stuck, the proctor can actually reach out to you in terms of message and ask you like the situation. Now there was one time like where there are situations where your screen gets stuck and you do not know what to do, so you can then also reach out to that person via chat and state your problem. So this is what happened to me in one of my exam, where my screen got hanged because of me opening the Microsoft Learn document. So when I tried to get back, the entire screen was white. So then I had opened the chat window and you know uh, chatted with my proactor, who actually relaunched my exam. So when the exam was relaunched, it was in the same state which I had previously. So whatever answers I've done, it's the same. It's not like it's going to restart. It's more like continuing with what you have done so far. And the most important thing to remember is your workspace, where the exam space which you are going to give at your home should be very clear. You will have to first, you'll be given a link. And basically, first of all, you have to join at least 20 minutes before the exam. Clean up your workspace, ensure that there is no one else in the room, and be ready with your ID cards. So first you will be receiving a message on your phone, where you will be given links to actually scan your Aadhaar card or typical ID proof, and also take 4 photos. That is photo of the screen behind the laptop, to the left of the laptop, to the right, and to the seat behind you. So, and also these should have high clarity. So the other time what happened to one of my friend is that although they had uploaded these images, since those images lacked clarity, the proctor actually called from the from the screen, and the person had to carry his laptop and show the surroundings to him, like the front, left, right, and back side. So these typical things are expected as a part of this exam. So just be ready for that. Please do not keep any books or any pen and paper behind near your laptop, because those will be, you cannot use it. Those are not allowed. So once all these verifications are done, then the proctor will unlock your exam. Okay, so once your exam is unlocked, your name, your exam title will be displayed on the screen. Post that, there will be a non-disclosure document, typical like your NDA documents. Then you have a set of instructions which tell you how much time is the duration of the exam, what you have to follow, how you have to manage your time. Then there's another fourth option here, that is complete the skill survey. Now this is like a tricky one. Here what they ask is whether you are you're a fresher, or you are a person who has already knowledge on the fabric, or you're an expert level. So depending on my experience, I've always kept a beginner, because I feel that probably a beginner will have, we do not know how Microsoft may play a role in having the complexity of the question. So for me, I've always kept the bare minimum. That's my opinion, but your wish as you take up. Then you take the exam. Then the last part where you will be always getting a screen displayed on the left or the right side, where you will know how many answers you have completed, how many are left, and how many you have marked for review. So once you have gone through all the questions, just ensure that you review your exam questions, review the ones that you have marked, attempt everything, and then you submit for scoring. So after you submit the scoring, you will have another section that's open, where you can comment on how this entire process could have been improved if you want to. Now this is not just for your typical exam questions, so it's also about like how the purview, how the proctor has taken up the whole uh, it's more about the experience of your session through, for your exam throughout. And of course the last would be your result, which is like when you celebrate, give or take whether you passed or not. It's more of a learning experience for us, right? So so that's like, once you receive your results, you go and celebrate. So moving on to the next slide, this is more about the tips and tricks. So what's the first tip that you have to actually consider is, scheduling the exam, even if it's say 1 week from now or 1 month or 2 months, just schedule the exam. That is when you forcefully prepare, you start your preparation, right? So keep that, always planning is very important, right? Not just for this certifications, for your typical life as well, right? So plan the exam as per your timings that you have available for your preparation. Schedule it. That gives you the force to study. Please go through the study guide and and practice the skills that have been listed. You also it's very mandatory that you go through the complete learning path, so you cover everything that's related to 700. Entire syllabus is covered. Then of course you take practice sets. You also use community resources. There are a lot of reactor sessions that are available, and you can also join this fabric data days kind of a sessions that keep happening regularly, where where you get a lot of interactions with experienced people who are already working on fabric, and you can easily get a good platform in asking your questions and getting them resolved. So, and also these sessions are more interactive, as you can see. So take that full advantage, I suggest. And then of course schedule your time to study. That is of course very important. So yeah, with that I end my session for today, and I hope that the complete 4 day session was very useful to you. I'll also give you, with respect to the request form where you can get the certification, I mean, free certifications, there is one link that's available where, this is also something I'm going to share to you on the chat. In this link, you can actually register for your examination voucher. So mostly, if you put all your details properly, you may get a free voucher. Just keep looking at your emails, because typically it takes around 3 to 4 days to get your free voucher. And also, I think Rajendra would also be briefing you on how you can get these vouchers as a part of this entire data group as well. So yeah, that ends my session, and I hope you guys had a good takeaways. So thank you for joining. Over to you, Rajendra.
Thank you so much, Anusha. Thanks for sharing that. Exam day is very nice. I can which we have prepared. Thank you for sharing that one. So I'll just try to share a few more things so that let me know once you're able to see my screen. Please confirm once. There is a query in the chat from one of the guy. He is not able to register. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see here, I mean the link already posted. Let me post it one more time. Maybe if you want to do it parallelly with me. Wait here.
Also, Rajendra, I'm unable to share my links in the chat.
Is it? Okay. Sashi, can you please provide access to, if you have that, check it and provide.
Yes, sir.
And I just posted the link in the chat box. So if you're observing, this is the Fabric community, okay, Fabric Data Days event, which you already attended continuously from different user groups and so on, right? So first we need to have a proper email account, okay? With your personal email ID, you can log in. You can log in with your Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, whatever. Log in with this. So once you logged in, navigate to this page. This is the page. So here, try to enter the details. So just try to cross verify your username, location, wherever you are attending, and which exam you are going to take it forward, like either it's the 600 or 700 going forward. Currently we are doing the 700 program, 600 already completed, so 700. So assume that I want a voucher for this 700 means 700. So try to fill this form. Okay, just example I provided, I entered something like I want to get Fabric certified and validate my skills, and I want to implement it in my real-time work. So I just added the details. So make sure that don't copy the same, just try to add your unique. So here, this is important. What challenge did you complete or which session did you view? Okay, here this is important. Don't provide the meetup link. So you will end up with error issues and so on. Try to provide example, Data Analytic Group Hyderabad. Try to provide whoever the organizer is, try to provide their name, like example, my name. So maybe if you're attending something like other user groups like NDAC, I saw some post NDAC, Next Gen Data Aspirants Community. Try to provide hyphen Suparna Babu, Superuser, something like that. Or maybe some another, okay, like Microsoft Fabric Cave. Try to enter this Al Jarani, some other person. India Microsoft Fabric. You attended this particular trainings from this user group. Okay, study group hyphen Amit Chandak, okay, MVP, and so on. Just try to enter so that they will get to know. Okay, we already registered these events via Microsoft, and we are conducting it. Okay, try to enter those details only. So when you are planning to take your examination, yes, please unmute yourself, please. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, unable to put the links in the chat
Posted.
again.
Okay, let me just give me a minute. I will check it and I will update. Is that
Sure,
fine,
no
right?
problem.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you're planning to take the examination, make sure that, okay, we don't have much time. 1 month is that duration part. Exam must be taken on or before 31st. So make sure that mention the third week or second week, something like that. This is again important. How will you study for the exam to ensure you will get passed? I will combine Microsoft Learn content and Fabric Database session material and whatever the events that you have attended, just to mention those names. Just make sure that it's not exceed the characters. Okay, characters should be 31 max. Okay, please enter those particular. So how did you hear that about this offer? Who shared with you this offer, and be specific? So example, I heard about this offer through Data Analytic Group or some another user groups. Mention the user groups. Even the name is also fine. Whoever the user, I mean, uh, your friend or whoever supported, you can just mention the name. And also Fabric study, Fabric data days or even groups, just mention it accordingly. Make sure that this is specific answer. Okay, and limit of characters also limited here, max 75 characters after adding those information. And here, if you already attended some Microsoft certification, try to enter yes, completed. I'm looking for DP 600. Already you completed DPL 300 miss, yes, PL 300. Maybe some another other than PL 300, DP 600, DP 203, some another configuration certifications are there. You can mention those things too. So do you work for a Microsoft partner organization? If yes, provide those details. If no, it is not a mandatory. You can see here, it's not a mandatory. Just make it as a blank also fine. And then you can submit it. So it works actually. Maybe within couple of days, you can definitely receive the voucher. And the voucher, right? How can I get it notification? So you have to be keep yourself on the community platform. Here, you're observing, right? It looks in this way. Okay, you kind of an alert, your free Fabric exam voucher has arrived. So like that, you are going to get it. Okay, still, if you have any questions, concerns, let me know. So it will be visible to you here like this, a notification, a mailbox. Okay, just click on this mailbox and you can see that free Fabric voucher has been arrived, and then apply for the voucher and try to attempt for the main exam. Okay, after scheduling it, try to attempt for the main exam. Hopefully, I'm expecting you people with the colorful, you can complete it and get it certified on this, whatever the exam it is. Yes, Babu.
Yeah, hi. So already few of them yesterday I attended NDAC session. In that we provided this DP 700 practice test. Let me tell you the context. There is a one of our network team friend, Anmol. He have his own practice tests, which is going to share you with all of you free of cost. So I can show you how you need to avail them. So Seshi, can you please share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Uh, Can you go to the, so okay, just a minute. Let me share you a link with you in the chat box.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes. I shared the link in the chat box. Click on the chat link. Please listen, everyone carefully. This is how you need to. So already I shared this one. Now the coupon code is already applied. Why? Because he is already signed in. No need to apply any coupon code. That's why it's showing free. If you are not login, it will show you need to enter manually this CP 700 November code. Now what you need to do, scroll down, Seshi, enroll now. Click on. See now, actually the original price is 799 INR, but now it is showing as a 0 rupees. So click enroll now. So once if you click enroll now just a minute. So start course, click on start course. Mm, So now begin test. Click on begin test. Now you can see the questions. This is how you need to practice. So I shared all link and coupon code in the chat box. Please utilize this opportunity. Okay. I can confirm you that 50% of questions you will get from this practice test. Okay, please try to utilize this opportunity. Still, if you need any help, please reach out to us in community or LinkedIn, wherever you are going to connect with us. So that's all from my side, Rajendra and Shashi.
Okay. So Rishi, I just posted a link one more time. Yes, please unmute yourself. Unmute. Just give me a minute. Let me share. Yes, Rishi, you have access to unmute. Please speak. Rishi, I allowed
Hello.
mic. Please speak.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes,
Hey,
Rishi.
hi. Sorry. So actually, I'm attending this session, and I attended
Okay.
yesterday a session from another group.
Okay.
So which one should I put? I
You
mean,
can
this one.
prefer what I mean, like that is fine, Sashi. I mean, getting the voucher is important. You attended
Yeah,
today's session
that's
or
good.
yesterday's is that, but it's
Okay.
fine. But try to complete all the sessions wherever you attended, either from NDAC or some another user group, my user group, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm.
attend it. You can just add without any alphanumerical characters and punctuations. One more link I
Okay.
have provided. One more just a simple text. Can you please use it and confirm?
Sorry, sure. So that's basically Fabric Data Days session by Data Analytics group, right?
By data analytics. Yes, try it if
Okay.
you're applying for DP 700 for today.
Yes. Yes, that's correct. That's working. I can submit it. Yeah.
You're able to submit. Fine.
Yes,
So
yes,
like
yes.
that. Okay. Maybe
Okay.
next to it, whoever referred, right? I mean, complete it. You can just take it as a reference wherever you are
And
trying to
one more thing
use it.
is, can I apply to DP 600 as well, like along with
Suggest you
700?
first DP 600 is first and followed with 700. It's up to you. Okay. If you want to attempt and climb for that, you can attempt for the DP 600 too. Yes.
Okay, can I use this session's
Yes,
reference for the
definitely.
600?
Yes.
And also, do I need to schedule the exam right now or after getting the voucher only?
See, they mentioned this here, right? On or before, correct? Submit
On-
period is December 5th. Exam must be taken by December 31st. It's up to
Yeah,
you.
that's correct. Sorry, I'm just saying because if I schedule it right
You
now, I
can
have to pay, right?
no need to pay. You are going to get it voucher. Once you get a voucher, then only
Sure, then
you can
yeah,
proceed.
okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hope today's session is very helpful. And if you have any questions, please post your queries and reach out to the users, okay, wherever you are connecting on the LinkedIn part. And we are here to guide you. And if you have any questions, let us know. Thanks, guys. Thanks to each and every other speaker who joined today's session. And thanks for sharing your valuable insights for today, and we'll meet you and we'll catch up to you the further events in the next month or above coming days. Thank you. Have a good day to everyone.
Thank you everyone for joining these sessions.
Thank you. Yeah.